propose to you, Madison, if I propose to you with a ring with a pussy on it, will you accept it?
I will not accept it if it doesn't have a pussy on it.
And we are here, people. What is up?
Please stop talking.
I was like, if I put a period behind each word, I wonder how it'll come out.
It'll sound really cool, and like I know how to relate to the kids.
Oh, God.
Definitely isn't true. Definitely not true. Okay.
Who are we?
We are Cross-Cut Cinema.
What are we doing?
Reviewing movies and spilling water all over the fucking place.
Hey, that happens earlier.
Sorry.
Doesn't change the fact that it happened.
Oh,
We
God.
thought that a tragedy had occurred.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
And then
so
we had to
scary.
reset, and it took us so long to actually start this podcast.
God,
Did you just burp into the
ASMR.
microphone?
So disgusting.
I really tried to move away. I did not mean to.
Literally
I'm
everybody
so
in this room
sorry.
except for me has had a gross burp in the last like 30
I'm
minutes.
drinking a lot of sody pops.
We ordered pizza.
That's true. We did.
I
You
drank a
guys
lot
got
of
to order
alcohol.
Pizza, and Bridget got to get drunk while I was
And
there
I'm hungover.
slaving away at company name redacted.
I mean,
Listen, my company name Redacted gave me the alcohol, like half of it. So, I don't know. That was a humble brag, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it was. Sorry, everybody else has to have shitty jobs. You know what Logan's job gives him? Cocaine.
yeah, at least offers or
I mean-
fist fights.
Nice. We never did get to hear that story. You'll have to tell me that later.
I'll tell you that story anytime, except for on here because I don't want to offend people.
Except for not right now.
Except for like when I'm broadcasting it out to people who definitely listen to this, like and tell me all the time that they're listening to it.
I like that your fucking workplace is our fan base. That makes so
it's
much sense.
Our
to me. It
workplace.
hurts.
It's my workplace. My father. That's it.
Your dad left the cutest little comment.
Yeah, or my old work mom, Shonda. Shonda, I love you. I hope you're listening to this. You're the best.
She is the best. I love
she really is.
Shonda
She's so
Rhimes?
great. No, Shonda. We're not gonna say her last name. Last name redacted.
So
But
it's not Shonda Rhimes.
but she's just so sweet. She makes me. Remember when we went back into that old job and we saw her and she started crying because she was so proud of me, and I started crying because she was crying, and then we hugged. Shonda.
Wow.
Shonda.
Mom, it was so cute.
Shonda defended me when somebody at my old workplace said that I was too fat to clean the bathrooms. Shonda went off.
Oh, I remember you telling me this.
Shonda
story.
was like, "This ain't happening today."
Why would
I love you, Shonda. Come on the podcast, Shonda.
Why would
Yeah,
they say
Shonda, what's
that
up?
about you? Why would anyone? What?
You know, okay, everybody in here knows this, but I'm still kind of bitter about it, so I'm going to say it anyway. You know where I'm going. You're looking at me like,
I
He said,
sure
I'm just gonna
do.
come out and say
I'm
it.
just going to come out and say it. At my workplace, we have a dumpster that's in a parking garage outside of our
Oh,
building.
God.
No.
And my old boss was like, you know, these people need to have somebody go with them when they take out the trash because it's not safe out there. And he lists like 4 other women that are not me.
And he was listening this to me like, "All right, Logan, when you're covering the shift," because I was like a shift lead person, he's like, "Hey, these are the people you need to make sure don't go out to the trash cans by themselves. List every other woman other than Madison." To which I said, "Huh."
I'm just not cute enough to be nabbed.
Yeah,
I think
I was
that's
just
the moral of the
so
story.
I made a point whenever me and Madison worked together. I'm like, "You're not taking out the trash by yourself. Nobody's gonna nab my Madison."
I'm like, look, obviously nobody's gonna nab me. I'm ugly.
no,
No.
I'm gonna make
I
sure
would
nobody
nab
nabs
Take
you.
that back.
We all would nab you.
I mean, I'm not the one who said it originally. It was
Well,
highly implied
the dude
that
that
I
said
am
it-
not worthy of nabbing.
the dude that's said it, if you're listening,
Fuck you.
fuck you. And he smells like hot dog water.
Wow.
You sound like hot dog. Smell like hot dog
And
So.
water.
And probably
Oh
sound
my
like
God.
And from one big man to another, you need to buy a size up in t-shirt.
I hope
Because
that,
I'm sick of your navel. You're not Shakira, homie.
Oh,
I hope that he's not
whoa.
listening to this.
I
swear to
pray
God.
he's listening to it.
He's not your boss anymore.
I
He's
could-
not.
I
You
just
can go
don't
off.
want.
I also want it to be known that everybody knows I'd beat you in a fist fight. I know it's not relevant
my
and this is
God.
oddly man-like,
What?
but I'd beat you in a fist fight and you know it. Anyway, let's move on.
Wait,
Some
what?
BDE over here.
Ew.
He's just stuff like that. She's just a really terrible person.
I didn't
Sorry.
even know about the fist fight thing. Please fill me in
Logan just
later.
had-
No, I mean
Aggro
it
male
never
moment.
has happened. It never will happen.
No, he liked to act all aggro and like shaky whenever I'd say something, like throw stuff around with this big yellow sweater.
Oh my
Ew.
God!
And-
Stop! Do not even bring it up with
And
me
I'm
right
just,
now.
I'm like, bruh, say
Fucking
something.
H&M shit.
Come say something to me, buddy.
please don't consume our content.
I'll rip that mustard sweater right off you,
It
buddy.
was not even mustard. It was like something worse than
It was
mustard.
banana boat.
Ew.
Ew.
His cheesecake.
Did we ever say our names?
I'm Logan.
I'm Madison.
I'm Brie.
I'm Frani.
So today we are talking about We're talking about The Turning
The Turning, Get
and
Out.
Get Out. Those are the movies. Those are the films.
They sure are.
So what should we start with? Should we start with The Turning? Unless anybody has more like work grievances.
I
they wanna
wanted
air.
to get out of watching The Turning.
Huh.
Hey.
Huh.
Do we want to? Okay, so do we want to start on a good one or a bad one?
We already know everybody's opinions
Guess
now.
which one's which, listeners?
Spoiler alert.
I think we should start with
Thank you
The
guys.
Turning.
You think?
Because then we can turn it around at the end with a good one.
All right. So The
These
Turning.
jokes are terrible. I'm cringing.
That's
Are you done?
Logan keeps ASMRing into the mic.
I just don't want to hear these turning get out jokes anymore.
So we did not watch The Turning together. And I think that we had like different experiences with The Turning watching. Like I think we both hated it the same amount. But I feel that Bridget and I had a lot of fun actually watching it.
Oh, I had a blast.
Logan and I went, and we had such a horrible time that we got ice cream after because we wanted to justify being out of the house and paying for parking.
Did you know that The Turning takes place in the 90s? Because the director wants you to fucking know that. He or she, don't know, will beat you over the head with this information by letting you know, look at all these bangs. Look at all these edgy 90 teens. We're going to bring up how Kurt Cobain died on television because we want you to fucking know.
That's like the
it's
first
the
thing
90s.
that happens in the movie.
It's literally like the first thing.
They're like, we have to explain away cell phones and really, really explain our edge. It's the 90s. Woo! And it's so fucking stupid because the whole movie takes place in this house that could be any time frame at all. But they really want to let you know that she was into The Cure.
Yeah, I don't get what the point of it being. I mean, I don't get what the point of it being in the 90s is, I guess.
The phone.
Or the excessiveness of it being the 90s. Like the constant reminder.
Yeah.
Finn Wolfhard edging in his room, playing the guitar, listening to the fucking
How about they just do
Soundgarden. Like, oh my God, I'm over it.
They could just like do a like thing where it says like the city and then like the year, then just like go from
No,
there.
I actually hate that.
You do?
I think just leave it alone and just let it be time frame anonymous because it doesn't change the whole plot of the story anyway.
And I think that like I didn't mind like the costuming in this movie, and I think that if it had just been that would have been enough to tell me it's the 90s.
Exactly. They
I
have to beat
agree.
over the head like, I picked
And the
this up for you at
phones.
the music store, even though you like are really fucking rapey.
Yeah.
Here you go, kid. It's the 90s. It's all about music.
Like, I feel like the phones and the costumes would have been enough for me.
Yeah, to be like, okay, this is the 90s.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they had a really bad time seeing this movie,
Yeah.
and we had a really good time.
We had a great audience with us. If any of y'all listening, I don't know if you are, but like, thanks for
Probably
being
not.
fantastic.
Like, it was just a lot. There's a lot of people there because it was like a late like Friday night, I think, and everybody was just like audio commentary the entire time.
It was
and all
great.
hilarious.
And it started out with just this guy being like, if that were me, I would have like smacked him or like.
Speaking about little Finn Wolfhard, by
Of
the
course,
way,
yeah.
he deserved to get the shit beat out of him.
He was like,
Or did
no.
No,
Or
he did.
No, or did he? Because did any of that even happen?
Well, I don't know, but the Finn Wolfhard we saw on screen deserved to have his shit rocked.
But we don't know if that's what happened.
I don't care.
What do you mean you don't care?
I mean, do you care what happened in this movie?
I care if it involves Finn Wolfhard getting his shit rocked.
Finn
Yeah.
Wolfhard should get his shit rocked.
Might I also add
The
that
character.
as different as our theater experiences were, I think the end of the film was the same for everybody.
Oh yeah.
Verbal disdain from the audience.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
everyone
Everyone was
yelling,
like,
yuck,
what the
ick,
fuck?
This was horrible.
Yeah,
What
everybody
am
was
I
like,
doing?
what the fuck? What just happened? And then everybody was all collectively like, is that it?
Yeah.
And then it was
I heard
it.
that too, yeah.
It was in fact it. That was it. That was
But
the end
not
of
the
movie.
good it with Finn Wolfhard, just the end of the fucking movie.
No. The
Oh.
good it with Finn Wolfhard is actually the movie you should see instead of this one.
Finn
Yep.
Wolfhard, come on the podcast.
I would shit my pants.
I would lose my goddamn mind.
I'd be like, please make us famous. I don't really care about you personally. I just want you to make us famous.
I like him.
He's funny.
Oh.
I do too, but I want to be famous before I
He's
want to
a
be Finn
cutie.
Wolfhard's friend.
Wow. Way to get Finn Wolfhard on here. What's happening?
She's just asking me to turn my microphone up.
I felt like I couldn't be heard.
I feel like Finn Wolfhard's not going to want to come on here if you don't want to be his friend.
No, it's not that I don't want to be your friend. It's that I want to be famous more, and I think you can respect that.
Finn
I get
Wolfhard,
that.
you're adorable, and please find better movies.
I actually feel like this movie was like, the ending of this movie is very rushed, and I almost feel like it's because Finn Wolfhard's cuteness is decreasing by the second.
But they didn't need his cuteness for this.
I mean, in a way they did.
Do the bit.
Do what bit?
The bit that you were doing after we got out of the movie.
That bit was not good. I was addled because that movie was so bad.
It was really good. I thought it was so funny.
But now we need another bit.
It's not organic now.
You're building it too much, and then she's gonna do it. And be like, well, that was embarrassing. It wasn't.
Yeah, it's not organic. The bit has to come organically. I'm not.
When it comes to like stand up and stuff, people are like, you're a stand up. You should say something funny. I'm like, fuck you,
I've
dude.
never said anything funny in my life.
I'm like, when you do that, you fuck me over because like now all the tension's here and people are waiting for
right,
something
and
funny
like
to be said.
also what's funny in the moment is based a lot on the context of those moments.
Yeah.
If I just recite the things that I said when we were leaving the theater of The Turning, you all probably wouldn't like it, and therefore I'm not going to say it. I'm going to leave it instead up to your imagination.
Like,
what my
I-
comments might have been.
I ate 11 oysters yesterday, and I was able to make a lot of really good jokes about it. They would not be that funny now. Now people are just concerned, like, why are you eating 11 oysters? Are you officially a walrus? Did you eat a fish tank? What is wrong with you?
Are you that Beatles song?
He ate 11 oysters and
Which
then
one?
went out with our friends to a bar.
That's the joke, Madison. Of course I know which one you're talking
I'm sorry,
about.
did you say you made out with your friend
No,
at a bar?
he went out. Yes, he went out with my.
Hey.
Guess I am an asshole, huh? Everybody
That's
was
what it
right.
was. That's why I was confused. I was like, wait, hold on. I'm sorry.
Your dreams
what?
are correct, Bridget.
Oh, that was a terrible dream.
Okay, so here's the thing. I feel like I hope that people took our warning and didn't go see The Turning.
Yeah.
Please don't.
So maybe we can do like a little quick like bing, but
A bit.
wham
what
bam
now?
Maybe we
like
can bat.
When bam.
Maybe we can
a really a bada bing bada bing, like really quick summary. That's
A what now?
Bingo bongo. I already gave away the end of the movie earlier in this.
Okay, but like we want to know what's actually going on in this movie. Like if you didn't see this movie,
I want to know too,
well
Madison.
then I'm gonna really quick tell you. So you better listen up. Unless you guys don't.
Here's
think
a
I should do
story
this.
all about.
Do you want me to
Being a
summary
nanny.
it?
Copyright.
Do you want me to summary it or no?
Yes.
How mean would it be if I said I want you to, but just because you gave me the option, a part of me was like, no, just like.
I mean, say yes or no right now. And I
Yes.
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 Okay, whatever. So it's got this girl. She's a blonde chick, and I don't know
In the
her.
90s.
In the 90s, it's very 90s. I don't know her
Kurt
name.
Cobain died.
Yeah, Kurt Cobain died, and she is a teacher. I think of like young kids.
Yes,
But suddenly
babies.
she's been hired to be a governess, which is fancy word for tutor for rich people, for these children, for this one child. So she shows up there. She like rolls up, and she's got this crazy mom. And she visits her mom before she leaves. So she rolls up at their spooky house. Yes?
We should clarify who is the crazy mom, not the little girl, but the lady who's.
Oh, no, the
arriving.
governess lady has the crazy mom. She visits her mom before she leaves, and she rolls up to their spooky house.
Her mom draws in swimming pools, I guess, because even more Nirvana, because it's the 90s.
Yeah.
Emptied swimming pools, to be clear.
No, she draws with pencils in swimming pools. The paper's all wet, and she's like, why isn't it working?
My
Well,
God.
she isn't in a insane asylum, so I keep drawing you pictures, but it looks like I'm making water angels.
Oh my God. Why is...
It looks like water aerobics, but I'm drawing you Mona Lisa.
Why did you
Doodle
choose...
Bob lied.
Why? Why did she have that accent?
She didn't. Okay, we're getting off track here. Sorry.
So the house is spooky. It's all like weird and gross. And the girl is also spooky. She's really weird. She like says weird things.
The little
Like
girl.
I
The
tell.
little girl, not
Yeah,
the
she-
governess.
You weren't telling the story so just like...
It doesn't matter because
This is a
as you'll
spam
see-
sandwich
as
of a
you'll
story.
see when we get to the end, none of this matters. So it doesn't really
Nothing
matter.
matters at all.
So anyway, so the house is spooky. The girl is weird. She's like kind of becoming friends with her because I guess her mom's absent due to her crazy, and her mom's absent due to the death. And the girl cannot,
Oh God.
and the girl cannot leave the property. It's very, very clear by this weird not governess, like house manager lady.
Nanny.
She cannot leave.
I don't
Not a
know.
nanny.
It was weird that she was there. What is she? Who is she? Why
She's
is
like
she?
she runs shit.
But then what do they need the person for?
She runs more the technical end.
No, she
whereas
like is the
other one-
housekeeper. Like
Yeah, but what do they need the nanny for if she's in charge anyway?
They need a teacher. She's not a teacher. She's lowly. She's a servant lady. She can't teach
And
these
also,
kids.
she's been like with
inbred.
the like she'd been working at that house since like the original owner.
But she
right?
hired the nanny, right?
I don't know who's
I'm
in charge of
guessing.
these.
Who the fuck hired this nanny?
I don't know
I
who's
don't
in charge
know.
of the estate. So the
I
parents are
think
dead.
this
Somebody's in
feels-
charge of the
It feels
estate.
like a Goosebumps episode a little bit.
It
Let's be
does,
honest.
yeah. Okay, so whatever.
like,
So
worse.
housekeeper lady, nanny lady, they all come together, and the nanny lady's like, "Come on, let's go explore the world." The housekeeper lady's like, "No, she can't do that." And every time she tries to get her to do that, she's like, "I don't want to die." So anyway, yes.
I'll get to that. I thought of an idea, but I think I'm going to wait till you're done with it. 'Cause
Okay.
I think it's going to add something to it.
Okay, so anyway, so it's like her first night in the house, and everything's real spooky, and she starts hearing noises, and then boom, Finn Wolfhard is there, and he's immediately giving off rapey vibes, like he wants to have sex with this woman.
Some
And it's really
BDE
weird.
in
He
a
keeps
bad
like looking
way.
at her with his mouth open. You're like, God, you creepy little fuck.
Yeah, and so he like keeps being weird. So like sometimes he's like sexual with her and like wants her comfort and touch, and then other times he's like a downright dick. And, like, you want to punch him through the screen. That's how bad he is.
And like weirdly like aggressive and like scary too.
He stomps on a koi.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
stomps on a koi fish. It's very sad.
I knew when I was watching it that was going to upset you a lot, by the way.
Yeah, Bridget doesn't like that shit.
Logan looked at me and
thought
went,
of
"Oh
her.
God,
I instantly
That-
thought, I was like, oh no.
Bridget's not gonna
Bridget's
like
gonna
this."
fucking hate this.
I mean, it
Franny.
was in the
And
trailer.
then that was the moment where I was like, maybe we shouldn't do the review because I don't want Bridget to be upset.
No, she was fine.
Like, I was fine. Like, it was in the trailer. I knew.
So anyway, spooky shit's happening. Finn Wolfhard's being weird, and the governess lady keeps seeing spirits and shit. And so she finds out that the last guy who was there, he was like, I don't know, he rode horses around. And she finds out that he died or something. But actually, as it turns out, that he was being really rapey to the last governess who lived there. Like, he was like fucking her against her consent and stuff, and it was like really gross and weird. But anyway, she decides that this guy is possessing little Finn Wolfhard, and for that reason, they all have to like get out of the house, and that's why the girl's afraid to get out of the house. And she gets this envelope from her mom, and she's looking at it. Then she decides like, okay, we gotta leave right now. And then they leave right now, and finally, after everything happens, it's all of a sudden she's back in there and she's looking at the same thing that her mom sent her, and turns out it was all just not real.
I updated my emo picture of the day while I was listening. Sorry.
So yeah, it turns out that it's all just not real, that it was all inside of her mind, and maybe she's the crazy one. It's unclear.
Also-
but all that to say that even if I got the plot details entirely wrong, which I kind of think I did, it doesn't matter because none of it happened, I think.
Well,
So do
like,
you-
she left at one point. She left
But
for
yeah,
like a
but-
day
but
and then turned
no,
around.
it was like
and
an
came
afternoon.
back.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
also,
yeah.
did she really leave?
Like,
Are
and so,
there
like,
phone booths at the beach?
Like, was she ever
That's
really
true.
there?
Also, when that little girl was screaming, I don't want to die. Do you think she just meant, I don't want to get in a car with you and have you kill me, you crazy fucking lady?
Fucking, I don't know. But like, but then my
Maybe.
question is like, was she ever really at the house, or
And,
was
like-
she in the insane asylum? Because she turns around
I think she was at the house
and
because
she turns and she looks at her mom, but it's someone else's face, but we don't get to see who. And I took that as it being her, that she was always in the
I thought she
crazy person.
yeah,
I thought that
maybe it was her mom
'cause
visiting
she
her
was,
kind of
like,
thing.
in the.
Well, I mean, I don't know, but I thought it was all her delusion.
Yeah, that was kind of the idea, right? But
Like, she
at
But
the
was in
maybe
the
she
pool.
was in the house.
But at the same time, did the house drive her to the delusion? Is it an open shut case where maybe she isn't crazy, but these situations, these phantoms made her crazy? Or is it that she was always crazy the whole time? The answer simply is bad writing, no budget.
Yeah.
Man.
Like, I feel like we're making it sound more interesting than it is.
Well, there are parts of it
almost.
that you're like, this is genuinely intriguing, but they don't go anywhere.
I don't know. I wasn't
Like-
really intrigued.
There were parts where it was just like, what is with this weird pseudo over-the-top sexual desire thing coming from Finn Wolfhard? And also, when they drove off into the night, where were they going? But then you're like, oh no, they're not going anywhere because none of this shit's real. Or maybe it is. Or I don't know. It's fucking wild.
Also, I have a very strong statement that I think all of the rapey sexual
Oh,
assault stuff was absolutely unnecessary.
Well, okay.
I mean, like, I don't know why the plot line needed to be that the ghost of the caretaker guy was rapey. I mean,
Well,
he could have just
like-
been malevolent.
I
Well,
think,
just because
well,
it's an uncomfortable topic doesn't mean it
you have
shouldn't
to go
be.
to the novella. There's elements of that all throughout it. I think that's my
okay,
argument. Is
okay,
the source
all right.
material deals with it. Now,
I
does
feel
that
better
mean that
about
that movie appropriately dealt with it? I don't think that's true.
So
I
it
think
just
it was,
felt
like,
like they were
over-
like, they were just like, haha, we're going to put this in because sexual violence is scary.
No, I think you're partly right. I think that it should have been in there, but I think that this film wasn't equipped to handle details like that or
I think it was,
subjectivity like that.
And I think it was like the way that it was shown was like over the top for shock value.
I agree.
It's almost like, you know, they did it wrong in the sense that, yeah, it was necessary for the story, but they did no elements from the story that were necessary other than that, and they played it up differently than the novella itself did. But it did need to be in there in regards to the source
and there
material.
are plenty of horror movies
Right,
which
but-
also deal with like sexual assault, which don't play it for like a shock value like this movie did.
I mean, there's a lot of films that do though.
Yeah, but there
that's
are
not me.
some-
That's not me
there's-
regarding them. That's okay, but
Yeah, but there are some which definitely handle it well, and others which just don't.
so actually, let's get a little on the controversial side and just asking you a question. Let me get your feels on this.
Okay.
So, what do you guys think about films like "I Spit on Your Grave"?
I've never seen it.
Have you seen it before, Madison?
It's been a really long time.
So the film's subject to the idea of the film is this girl's raped in the countryside by a bunch of hillbilly fucks, and then she takes out revenge on said hillbilly fucks, right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Now
yeah, I
let
feel
me
great about that.
let me tell you this though, as empowering as an idea that can be, the scenes in which it happens itself are played for a large
Yeah.
shock and
Yeah.
are very brutal to get across a point. There's police sirens
I hear
going
that.
at my house. Yeah,
It scared me.
it's absolutely played for shock, but then at the same time, it does have like a empowerment kind of statement to it. But it is like a dumb horror film. So
I mean, I think
Like-
maybe like better examples like Jennifer's Body.
Jennifer's Body being a good example of it, like is in like a correct use of it.
I mean, I think it's a better use.
I love Jennifer's Body.
I
Fun
love
fact.
Jennifer's- I also
I've
love
also-
I
Jennifer's
might
Body.
be the
Never
only
seen
man who loves Jennifer's Body because whenever I bring it up to another film bro kind of
That's
guy,
because dudes don't get Jennifer's Body.
it's so good. Franny, I showed you that, right?
Yeah, you did show me.
I
men
love
do
Jennifer's
not
Body.
men do
Does
not
it-
understand Jennifer's Body. Change my mind. You can't.
Well, I mean, I understand
Like-
Jennifer's
Well, I mean,
Body.
men as a whole. I don't mean like you personally.
I'm a part
Men
of that
as a whole.
Does it
Am I
have?
Let's
Let's
just
You just cherry pick me
generalize.
out of that constantly,
Oh,
and
that's
just
what I
going
tend
here.
to, that's what I tend to do.
No,
Does
it's
it
so
have-
Diablo Cody's a fucking
I
genius.
know. I love her.
And even the music in that film was so smart too.
Yeah, I mean, she directed Juno, right?
Yeah, well, and wrote it too.
She wrote Juno.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought
She
that.
was the screenwriter I was talking about last time with representation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we
She's
love
incredible.
Diablo Cody.
Yeah, I stand Diablo Cody. I really, 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 really hope she was gonna get a season of a show that I liked. I can't remember what it is now. Oh, it's gonna kill me. Anyway, but so I was making that point because there's another film. It's a foreign film called Revenge.
I've never.
Mm-hmm.
You guys need to fucking watch it.
Who directed it?
Oh shit, I cannot remember right now.
Okay.
It's
Is it-
not. It's not even like a complete full length feature. I think it's like an hour.
Okay.
But
Okay, yeah.
it's really like high color, super high octane, like fucking adrenaline action. But it kind of has the same idea where this girl was attacked aggressively. But the reason why I think that film is better than I Spit on Your Grave is one, at no point in the film do you see it glorified or expanded upon too long.
Good.
In the sense that the message and the intensity is delivered, but you're not going to see a whole bunch of it like represented on the screen. And then the other end of it is, it's not like played for shock and horror when she attacks them back. Like it's almost as if the things that were done to her, she literally is reenacting on them. And it's powerful as shit. So if you haven't seen that, watch it. That's how you handle stuff like that in a film, respecting the weight of that in a film, as well as respecting the weight of representing that in a film.
Yeah.
And, like-
this movie just wasn't equipped to handle.
Not even fucking close.
It just felt pointless, and
yeah,
it felt
because it didn't mean anything ultimately.
and like I was super
Because
excited.
nothing meant anything ultimately.
Right, and that's why the
Right.
whole movie felt pointless.
And I was super excited when I first saw the trailer. I was like, "Oh my god, little Finn Wolfhard!"
That's how they get you. I'm telling you,
Um,
less cute by the day.
Everybody's gonna go see that Ghostbusters movie and be like, God, does he have facial hair right now?
What the fuck is that?
Paul Rudd can't save this.
I don't want to see it. I feel like the Ghostbusters movie is going to be bad. I'm sorry, go ahead.
We'll have to see it to know for sure.
Yeah, that's just my prediction. Sorry, go.
So I got really excited, and like I had a lot of theories, like just based solely on the trailer about what like the movie might be saying, specifically with the sexual assault, especially with the like severed hand like going across her. And maybe what they were I don't know.
So my issue with the movie is that every element in the movie you can separate from what it has and find a better version. If you want to talk about empowered kids who like get away with the most insane shit, you can watch Thoroughbreds. If you want to watch a movie about aggressive, sexual assault being actually actualized and respected in a film while also defending the person that was assaulted, you can watch Revenge. If you want to watch a movie about a loose hand, you can watch The Addams Family. You don't need to fucking watch this movie.
Right.
It's fucking pointless.
You want to watch a ghost house movie? Watch any horror movie.
Monster House is better than this.
You're right.
Watch the fucking Conjuring or something. I don't know.
Yeah, just avoid Annabelle, the first one.
Yeah,
I heard
don't
the
watch
second
that.
one's good.
I never saw the second one.
The first Annabelle was fucking asleep. I was asleep.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
I never watched any of the Annabelle movies.
You're not missing too much.
Franny, what do you think?
I was trying to say something earlier. I don't think that a topic shouldn't be in a movie just because it's an uncomfortable topic.
Well, I don't think that's what we're saying either.
I know, but it's kind of like, I think that's what a lot of people think.
I don't know about that either. Sorry.
Continuation of last week. But
yeah, let's not.
Yeah, no, we don't need to do that.
I mean, they didn't do it well. It just kind of felt over the top.
Yeah.
And kind of icky.
And nothing in this movie mattered.
You got to put that on the Blu-ray case. Kind of icky. Crosscut cinema.
Icky.
And nothing in this movie mattered.
It was just icky, and like it wasn't like it didn't know what it wanted to be. Like it didn't know if it wanted to be like a corny horror movie or like a ghosty. Like it didn't.
I don't think it wanted to be that ever.
For some reason, when you said corny horror movie, I just think my brain was like horny horror movie. I don't know why.
No. Stephen King's Children of the Corn.
It like mixed in my brain for some reason.
Like they kept like doing elements
that's
of
what
like
Children of the Corn is.
Horny horror movie.
Corn movies. You can watch Signs. That's a corn movie.
It's a good corn movie.
I like Signs.
People do not give Signs enough.
Signs was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. I would watch Signs like once a week.
I always watched Unbreakable, another M. Night classic.
We would always put on Signs. Fucking Joaquin Phoenix, Oscar winner Joaquin Phoenix. He's there. Ooh. Mel Gibson. Right?
Yeah.
He's in that fucking movie,
Unfortunately,
right? Yeah. That scene, my most memorable scene from Signs is where Mel Gibson is just yelling at all of them at the dinner table like, we are going to eat our meal and we're going to do it together.
Spoilers for Signs. Spoilers for Signs. The aliens in it essentially can't do water, and that is like literally me. Like every week, like, do I want to take a shower? Do I not?
Ew, gross.
I just don't want to do it anymore. Taking a shower is so much work.
That's called depression, my dude.
Oh, I know. I'm well aware.
He said, I know.
I'm well aware.
Sorry, what were we talking about?
We all get sad on the Crosscut Cinema podcast.
Every last one of us.
But yeah, nothing in this movie happened. Like nothing in this movie happened for any purpose, because some movies are like it was all a dream. Like spoiler alert, Shutter Island, right? Where everything was
except Shutter Island was incredible.
Well, that's why I said like some movies do this well, where like everything was happening inside the characters' minds. And if you go back and think about it, you're like, oh yeah, because this and that happened, and that makes sense. That doesn't happen in this movie. This movie leads you to believe that everything that is happening in it is actually happening until the last like minute and a half.
Spoilers for Shutter Island.
I said spoiler alert.
Oh, okay, making sure.
Yeah, spoilers for Shutter Island. It's all on Leonardo DiCaprio's mind. It's been
or
out.
Is it?
Or is it? Fucking if I know.
That's Scorsese's power right there.
Right.
Hey, Franny.
Yeah.
What are you thinking right now?
I hated this movie. It was an insult to mental illness too. Like,
it really was.
Man, the amount of films this year that are just, or the last 2 years, I should say, are just insults to mental illness. Literally just slapping
I
across the
really
face.
don't like it. Like, it's really not okay
It's not cute.
insult people like that. It's just kind of fucked up how they did it. And then it's really like just an assaulting to the audience, honestly. Like, I was offended when it ended like that. Like, I was pissed off.
We should have saw Bad Boys instead.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, like, the thing that irritated me most about the movie, like, back to what I was saying, where it's like, you know, some movies where everything's happening inside the person's mind, like, you can see that you have the little things that's like, oh, this happened and that doesn't make sense. But when you go back to this movie, like, for example, if they wanted to make the point that she was imagining or delusional about all of the spooky things that she saw happen in the house, then we wouldn't have seen ghostly activities occur when she was not present, because we should be seeing it through her eyes. But instead, we have those little stupid jump scare moments just to get one in, where, you know, the mannequin's head turns by itself after she's already left the room. Well, that tells me that it's really fucking happening.
If you want to see a film where the debate is whether it's supernatural or has to do with something in your family line, just watch Hereditary.
Yeah, I'm just saying, fucking watch Hereditary
a good movie.
Yeah, no spoilers. Because
No
we're definitely going to
spoilers
review
for
it.
Hereditary,
Ari Aster is a fucking king.
Love that man.
Love him.
New master of horror in the making.
But yeah, so it's just like really annoying. And I feel like this movie, this is kind of the thesis I gave after a little bit, but like this movie doesn't understand what makes a movie scary.
That's so true. That is so on the nose.
Because, you know, several of the jump scares like just happened. Like it just, nothing was building up to it. It just happened. But in fact, what makes a jump scare scary is the anticipation. When you feel that creepy sensation that something bad's going to happen and they're in a dark room and things are looking weird, but you're like, where's it coming from? And then all of a sudden, boom, it's there. That's scary. And the just all of a sudden, like, boop, something just happened with no buildup. That's not scary. That just gives you like a what the fuck?
Yeah, it's kind of
But
like...
it's all about the anticipation. Like, my metaphor is this. When you ride a roller coaster, going down that first hill isn't what's scary. That's the adrenaline. What's scary is riding up the hill and looking over the edge. A horror movie is like that. And I just think that if you think you're going to do a jump scare, you just need to think about what makes them scary. Like, for a good second, think about the things that scare us. It's not the thing itself. It's the anticipation of the thing. And my pee just popped really hard, but I feel
patient.
I feel very passionately.
So I'll say this too. There are things like, I guess you could say, like, I can't think of a good word for it, technically in a film, that are supposed to make it scary as well. And this film is shot like a drama that has spooky stuff pop out. It's like the Boy Meets World like horror episode where it's not really scary, but it's pretending to be like a scary movie. There's nothing in editing or shots or anything that shows that this is a real horror movie because it's so fucking lazy.
Yeah, I mean, something ghostly appearing on screen isn't scary. It just startles you.
The end of the Hey Arnold Halloween episode's scary. I know that's the second time I brought this up, but I'm going to bring it up every day till we review it.
Fair enough.
I think they should have chose like one way or the other to like be scary as far as like the ghosts and the creepy kids. Like they could have still done their like fucking sad excuse for a twist ending, but they should have either done the ghosts and the whole sexual assault plot line or the creepy kids. Both was overkill and made it not plausible to be like, was she imagining it or not? You know, because like it's just over the top.
I agree with you, but I'm going to throw it back to the source material argument.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this movie...
Is it like that in the source
material? Kind of. You guys got to understand that like it's...
But couldn't they just take the source material and do something similar?
The thing is, the source material is so old, some of it's interpreted differently now. That's why. That's where the struggle with it comes in. Yeah. Whereas, like, maybe the way back when you read the source material, you wouldn't notice that these things were like sexual assault and incorrect because of the times it was written in and the way it was talked about. But now, looking back, it's like when you hear like a really not PC joke in like an old comedy, like, oh, that's so gay, LOL. Like,
or when you listen to like "Baby It's Cold Outside" in
yes.
2020.
I love that song.
I mean, I'm still for that song.
Baby, it's cold outside.
Have we sung in like
that's
every podcast since Cats?
Song.
But yeah, I feel like this movie almost would have been better if it didn't have any fucking ghosts in it. If there were just no ghosts and she was just seeing the ghosts.
Or if they
But
just
she
did
was
the
like-
creepy kid plot line. And
Yeah,
just
the
did,
kids
like,
were fucking
only-
creepy, and she was just acting like she was seeing ghosts all the time, but us, the viewer, never saw them. That would have been so much more
This movie would have been
effective.
better if she would have just went to the Nirvana concert and we would just be like, this is the 90s, the whole fucking 90 minutes. Because honestly, this movie is trash.
This movie would have been so much better if when Finn Wolfhard showed up and started being grossed her, she'd be like, you know what? This really isn't for me.
Yeah, she just leaves.
Yeah.
The rest of the movie is about how she's in like the Maldives with her clearly girlfriend, the old
Oh, I
roommate.
know. That was lesbian.
Yeah.
I know. I was like,
Gay
I don't
rights.
even, I even hesitate to give this movie gay rights because it was that bad.
I feel like the end of the movie should have
Yeah.
just been them going to Bosnia and just being like, man, ghost kids are stupid. And then the movie just
Correct.
ends with them drinking some margs.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it's
So,
not good.
like-
It's not good.
I feel like it wanted to do so many things. And I thought it was going to be so good. And it was just terrible.
Right.
And I was like really looking forward to this movie. I was so hyped.
I know. Bridget was really excited about this movie.
I was
Should've
like,
saw
I
Knives Out
wanted it.
instead.
I really wanted it to be good.
And
I
Knives Out
wanted
is
this movie
still
to be
out.
good too.
I had right when Franny was talking about seeing that one in particular, because I said it was what came out. There was a sneaking suspicion as we were walking up to the cinema. I was like, "Oh no, wait a second! This is January. This is a horror movie.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, like, January horror movies are just not good.
Like, I can't even think of a good one right
Honestly,
now."
like, most movies that come out in January and February are not very good. But,
It depends if it's still like from the Oscar like overflow,
yeah. Then,
or
yeah, but, like,
animated pictures sometimes can be really good at the top of the year, or if it's Jordan Peele.
Yeah, I
which
was
we'll
gonna
get to in a
say-
second.
I was going to say Us was really, really good.
March and then
thought that was
February.
February.
No, the Get Out was February. Us
Yeah.
was in March.
Was
yeah,
it in
unless you're
March?
Jordan
Yeah,
Peele.
March 7th or 6th.
I thought it
or
was
something like that.
snowy when we went, babe.
I
Yeah,
don't- I mean,
March
it
can be
very well
snowy
could've been.
sometimes. It
I
snowed on
don't-
my
I don't
birthday
really
plenty
rem-
of times.
That's
I don't
true.
really remember.
I just remember
Wait,
scaring myself
Franny,
after
Google
we
it.
saw it.
Goggle that. Goggle that.
Franny, wake up. Google it.
I've
Get on
been
the goggle.
awake the whole
Uh-huh.
time.
I was awake the whole time.
What movie are we talking about?
When
Us.
was Us theatrically? You know what I'm trying to say.
I got 5 on it.
Oh, so good. Do you remember me scaring myself?
Yeah, it was March
Was
22nd,
wasn't on.
2019.
Oh, huh.
Now,
Oh, that's right, because one of my friends was excited to go see it because it was like right before their birthday.
Mermaid pussy.
just wanted to
Yeah.
prove that was right there. That's my little nod
Thanks.
to that.
I'm so mad because I was the one who originally said that.
Correct.
And
that
then-
probably is true, yeah.
I mean, it is definitely true. I was the one
See,
who originally said
This
that
is
on the
thing-
podcast.
This is the thing.
And Madison's the one that says it on the thing.
I'm a loud bitch, and you can't date a loud bitch when you're a quiet bitch because they'll steal your jokes. Like, if it was funny and it didn't get the reception because you said it too quiet,
Here we go
I'll
again.
go ahead and take it.
We're going back around, everybody. Let's
What do you
hear that
mean?
joke again. I fucking hate that. I remember at our old job, the one with fucking hot dog water, whenever I'd say a joke, another gentleman would just repeat the joke. The room would fucking roar. Be the funniest joke ever said. I'm like, I just fucking
No,
said
I
that.
don't really do that to Bridget. I was just fucking around.
It happens to me
She
all
was
the
just
time.
fucking around.
I don't really do that.
I hate that.
I'll say, hey, Bridget, say that again.
Yeah, she will do that.
Well, I've never given that courtesy in my life, so.
But yeah,
I'm
no.
lucky to have a one that gives me that
That is
courtesy.
annoying because I feel like yours and my jokes are sort of like little ones. Like, we just get them in
Yes,
there.
yeah.
Which is actually, I feel like one of the first things that you began to like about me after you thought that I
Yes.
hated you is that I just like get mine in.
You would just like, we were talking about something, you'd be like, well, actually, and I'd be like, ha, and nobody else would notice, and it'd be the best.
That's because I'm in the workplace. I'm a bitch on the down low, as opposed to as opposed to my public persona, which is high key.
Yeah, I feel that.
So Madison and I are rewatching Glee. I'm rewatching it. Madison is watching Glee. Her
You just
comments,
got Franny so reinvigorated in the conversation. I heard her go,
I hate Glee more than anything I've ever had.
What
in
is
my
wow,
life.
wrong
that's a
with
strong
you?
opinion.
It's really bad.
It's not that bad.
It's pretty bad.
It's
It's-
what. Okay, I'll say this: the
Upon-
comedy and pop culture elements of it are not only aged, but were always kind of bad. But I will say this: I like the music. I think it's fine.
I mean, the music's fine, but like the entire plot, every plot of every episode is fucking stupid.
What? You don't
I
have
mean,
a soul.
we're-
Okay,
We're
so
only-
I used to do Rocky Horror, so I got a little soft spot for that episode in particular.
We're only in
Listen to
season
this.
1.
Oh, season 1 is kind of trash.
We're in season 1.
This is a
To
real
be
thing that happened on
clear.
this show. a girl liked a boy. And she said, hey, boy.
That's already number one problem for you.
Well, no, listen.
As Madison would call it, hetero nonsense.
I mean,
Correct.
no, but listen, it wasn't. But she was like, hey, boy, I like you. And he was like, listen, I don't like you because I'm gay. And then she smashes the windows in his car.
Oh yeah, smash
He
the
didn't-
windows out.
He didn't
your
say
car.
because I'm gay. He wasn't out at that time, although everybody
Everyone
fucking
knew
knew.
something.
He said that he liked Rachel.
Whatever. She still smashed his fucking windows out because he didn't like her.
I will explain to you why this happened.
I know why it happened. I watched it.
No, I'll explain to you why it really happened.
Why did it really happen?
They wanted to use that song.
That's what every episode of Glee is. It's like they pick the songs and they're like, shit, fuck. Okay, what do we got to do to make these people sing these songs?
It doesn't stay like
and
that.
Therefore,
It gets a lot more
no
organic.
character has a personality.
That
just
definitely
do
changes.
things.
That changes. You got to
They-
give it a chance.
The one person there's two people with personalities. One personality is gay. Actually, I'll make that three. One personality gay. Two personality black. Third personality annoying.
Who's black other than the girl in the first season?
It's Mercedes. She's
Oh, you're saying singular. I thought you meant like these are the three archetypes of all
Oh
the
no,
characters.
There's
no.
three characters with personalities. One is gay. That's Kurt.
Oh, you're saying three people have a personality and the rest are just nothing.
Yes.
I thought you were saying the whole
that
cast
changes.
fits under three We have to
Ah!
put. By the way, we have to put Glee in the title now because we are it's definitely this conversation is going to continue for a second.
It's going to continue because I'm passionate about my
That's
love
exactly
for Glee.
why.
But what
I
I'm saying is-
sobbed when it ended.
whatever. But what I'm
I've
saying
never
is-
actually finished it.
You
I'm
don't
sorry,
understand.
I'm
What,
just
you don't
playing.
understand what you're doing right now.
You broke my
I'm
heart.
playing. But no, like,
Season
there-
1 is trash. I
There
get
are
it.
three
She's about to
characters-
bust the windows out of your car.
There are three characters with personalities.
Please
One
don't
of them
do
is
that. I'll
Kurt,
be
his
cold.
personality is
Yeah.
homosexual. The other person is Mercedes. Her personality is African American. And then the third person, which would be Rachel, her personality is just annoying. And everybody talks about her as if her being obnoxious and like a bitch all the time is something that she can't control. Like it's just intrinsic to her. But it's not. Like you don't have to
All right,
act
so
like
let me,
that.
then,
let me-
like,
wait.
she's so-
I have a real defense for this. Let me get this out there because
Yeah.
it's going to help your cause.
Oh God.
I have been in some form of theater or musical theater since I was 7 years old. Girls like Rachel absolutely exist, and I will tell you this. Their fury and their need for success does make it a damn near impossibility to act like a civilized human being because what they want before being a human is to be successful.
But
it
it's
is
not-
a very real personality type.
Especially
And
in
that, I
America.
argue, is why she's relatable because I have met so many fucking assholes, male or female, who are exactly like that character.
Like, it's a
and if
real
you're
personality
listening,
type.
you know who you are. You said I had no talent at a rehearsal once, and everybody laughed at you and said you were the worst. And I'm saying, fuck you again.
And it
It's
makes
a real
the,
personality type, but they all act about it. They all act like it as if it's like something that she has no control over.
It literally is kind of
yeah,
like that.
and the
Not.
thing
You
is,
can decide not to be an
Oh,
asshole.
I
They
guess
start-
that's true, but in the sense that her own inhibitions get in her way. She's stubborn and set in her ways. And that's a
She
real
is.
personality
She
and a real
really
person.
But also, like, her thing is like she's kind of like high maintenance and needy. Like, you don't have to be that way. dude.
that character arc develops to where she
yeah,
isn't
I was
that
gonna
way.
say like their character arcs because they start them at such
Remember,
a low.
this is 5 seasons, really 4.
No, I mean,
where
I
they
literally
have enough.
watched
They have
I
enough.
thought it was 6.
It might be 6. It doesn't matter. I mean,
It's 6.
maybe to you, but I
don't
sorry.
know, I just felt-
But there's a lot of time to grow that character.
yeah, I was
Remember,
gonna
it's
say
not like
that's
a
why they
film
started
or
at
like a
such
single
low.
season.
No,
because-
I know.
They
And-
have to develop her because remember she is a 16-year-old high schooler.
Well, yeah,
They
and, like-
usually suck.
And,
Just
but
saying.
like all that aside, they're the only 3 people with personalities. The rest of them just do whatever
Exactly.
is
but
expedient for the plot.
but it does develop more.
Yeah, they take
It
all
does.
those characters and by the
And
end of
I
it,
don't even really like Glee, and I'm saying this. I'm not like a huge
like
fan.
the fucking coach lady, lesbian Jane Lynch.
Renowned
What is her
world
fucking
lesbian.
character?
It develops.
Some days she's a fucking raging bitch. The other days she's super nice. Why does she have this weird ass vendetta against this Glee club? What the fuck do you care?
I think it has to do with it's sort of like a, not to get political, it's sort of like a Republican kind of mindset where this person only sees the importance of like getting funding for her specific program, a sports like program where the arts don't mean shit.
it's fucking Glee.
She's
I
the
don't think it's that deep.
no, it is. I mean, Ryan Murphy's not a fucking dummy. He can really craft a show. He's not like the best, producer ever or creator ever. But the idea of that character is to be the anti-arts character, in which there is a turn later on.
Yeah, but
She is a character. Like, she is supposed to be total satire, dumb character.
well, yeah, but she's also not consistent.
But that's kind of the thing, though, right? When people constantly change their argument to fit whatever lane they want to be in, that's a satirical thing. People aren't always consistent. They're always in the way of what they want.
I mean, I guess, but I just think it's fucking stupid.
Okay, well, that's your opinion. I can't change that.
I don't know. Like, the things
start
that
this.
these people on Glee don't act like any human person.
But it is like a comedy. It's supposed to be over the top. If you watch a standard musical, right? These characters are so fantastical and ridiculous. West Side Story are not normal characters at all. This is a musical show.
But Glee is no West Side Story.
Well, okay.
And it may be a comedy, but it's not that fucking funny.
Well, that's yet again.
It's like how comedies like The Office and like
Well, I don't want to not compare that to The Office.
No, I have a point.
Okay, go for
Like
it.
Parks and Rec and everything. Like, of course, people don't actually act like that.
I would argue that in The Office, people act like that.
Oh, The Office is
over the
Office
top.
is high satire.
It's exaggerated,
Exactly.
but like
It's heavily
But
exaggerated.
at least people have consistent
Glee is
characters.
satirical.
There are episodes of The Office that are just they go outside and play a recorder for a funeral for
But
a
at the
bird.
very least, people have consistent characterization.
Yes, and what we're saying
And they
is
act
season
consistently.
1, they barely have characters.
Well, I mean, that's
Glee.
no fucking excuse. If
They
you're gonna make
take
a show,
them
you should figure
Well,
it the
and
fuck
they
out
grow
before you
those
start filming.
that's the
characters,
point, is
and by
we're-
the end of it, you have a character or like a lot that you are very emotionally attached to because you watch these characters build and grow like people. 16-year-olds fucking suck.
But
They evolve.
Watch
in
the first
order
season
to
of The
have-
Office. It's the same
in
problem.
order to
Yeah.
have a character arc, you have to have a character. And right now, there aren't any. And I'm not saying that there won't be later. But in what I've seen of Glee, these people just do things because they help move the plot along and get to the next singing song.
There are elements of that, definitely.
Yeah.
But there is an overarching story.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a story, but I just think that like as of right now, at the very least, these people are just doing whatever they have to do to get to the next song that
Yeah,
they decided
that's,
needs to be in the
that's
episode.
absolutely true for
That's
sure.
a lot of season 1 for sure.
No, that's even in later. There's a lot of that in later seasons too. But the issue is, at least the issue I take with the statement, is that these characters aren't always in the limelight. It's like a real high school or like a real story. There are some characters who are just kind of fucking off and doing the assignments and just singing songs or having like kind of, dumb little events like the guy with the Jesus toast or whatever.
I love that episode.
But there's other characters in the episodes that are dealing with real
Jesus,
struggles.
Jesus.
And I mean, I also want to say I don't want to get too into it because I don't want to be talking about Glee. For
Glee
real.
is absolutely in the title now. There's no way we
Yeah.
can avoid it. This is like 10 minutes of pure
I
Glee.
know, but
I didn't mean to start this, y'all.
The other thing about
I don't
Glee
even know
is
why I brought it
You
up.
lit a-
deal-
you lit
they
a
deal-
fuse.
They deal with these like real life struggles, I guess, and like teen struggles, but sometimes it's so offensive.
You have to consider that's 11 years old.
Yeah.
But there are things that were not cool 11 years ago.
And it was
that
Well,
satirical.
are still
It's
not.
It was
made to be
satirical, but
over
it was
the
also
top.
it was also a shock value because
Yes.
here's the thing. This was on Fox, right? This was a prime time show.
Yeah, this wasn't for kids.
So
Well, yeah, no.
there's two reasons why it's okay for it to be kind of shocking. And one is there was an actual message of acceptance that was trying to be pushed, right?
Badly.
Well, you
It
can
gets
say
better.
that.
I can say that and be right, yeah.
I mean, I guess
I want to talk about...
There's
okay,
so
I
much
wanna-
gay rights in it by the end of it.
I mean, I don't really care about that, but like... I mean,
Oh, bitch, yes, you do.
I care about gay rights, but this is not what I'm speaking about. I'm speaking about the episode where, in order to teach the Glee kids a lesson,
I knew
Mr.
she'd bring this
Schuster
up.
had them ride around in wheelchairs so they can understand what it feels like to be a poor, handicapped person.
okay.
That's a good episode.
Well, no, it's them trying on his disability as a fucking costume.
Oh, we're going with this.
Oh my goodness.
What do
We're
you
going
mean?
with
11 years ago.
And they do a dance in wheelchairs. How fucking offensive
That's
is that?
so cool.
Like, I'm so glad that my disability, which you all never care about, is a fun little prop for you to use
Okay.
in your song and dance show.
I don't agree with you.
Okay, that's fine.
And
You don't
that's
have to.
okay. And I'm not going to make an argument in the sense that I think you're wrong about that. But I will say this. Throughout the episode, would you say at the beginning of the episode they weren't very understanding of that character's like disability, like saying it's like getting in the way of in some way?
I mean, yeah, for sure.
So by the end of the episode, the dumb assignment at least caused them to be like, well, I guess we were fucking dickheads for acting like it was so in the way, because it showed them struggling and cheating on how to, like they're getting up and cheating and getting out of the chair and people are calling them on it, right?
I mean, yes.
So then comes the question, I mean, it's not a great way to push the message, but we're talking about 11 years ago, and we're talking about something
Shock
that
value.
in musical theater and show
value.
choir, I have seen people be kind of shitty about like, oh, the wheelchair kid's going to be in our show choir? Well, that's fucking stupid. It does kind of give a message to people in that scenario. But my issue with, and I agree with you, is it's handled very lightly and very passively. But I make the argument that this was meant to be digested by a large public audience who'd probably think of a kid in a wheelchair in a show choir being more comical than an actual thing and piece of adversity somebody has to go through.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that the show does a good job otherwise of showing him as a valuable member of the team. Mm-hmm. But then they do this episode and it's like, oh, look how hard it is to be poor Archie. You know, like nobody wants to fucking hear that shit.
It's Artie.
Archie.
Wow, you look like the biggest asshole because I don't know his fucking name.
That is, dude.
You're like, this kid needs rights, and then you're like, fuck his
Bridget's
name.
comedic timing was amazing.
That was so good.
Oh my god, Bridget, you killed me. That was so fucking funny. I can't even be mad that it like burned my ass because
I didn't even mean to burn your ass. I was just like, you got the name wrong, babe.
the timing was so good.
Oh man, if anybody was on the fence on this argument, I feel like it just totally went over the edge.
No, my knowledge of this character's name on a show I don't like is not doesn't mean I'm not right.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is too is you have to put things in the time in which they were created sometimes.
I don't know. I mean, yes and no, because like it's still shitty no matter what.
I think that's a little bit of a matter of opinion in the way things are handled. I think I agree with you that it was too passive.
Yeah,
but I
and
also
then just for
think
them to
that
say like oh, like you guys need to figure out how it feels to be a handicapped person. Like, no, they don't. They just need to learn how to be decent fucking human beings.
sometimes people are so ignorant that you have to kind of push them through and be like, put yourself in their shoes. And, you know, maybe it's on them for never being decent human beings and starting out with respect. But there also is something to having a learned aspect of the world, you know, figuring out things
and then,
when you were ignorant to them.
And then just from a logistical aspect, how was this dude able to get all these wheelchairs and they couldn't even afford it? They can't afford a bus, but he wouldn't have all these wheelchairs.
We are not going to call it the logistics of a musical television. They have new sets every week.
I know.
And they're able to sing and dance around in the hallways. We're not going over logistics.
It's not supposed to be super realistic and logistic.
All right, can we stop fucking talking about Glee and rate the turn?
I think it's... Oh, yeah, we do have to rate. I forgot.
And then we can take a pause.
I was about to say, this is a good time for a pause.
A little cool down, and then we can do Get Out.
Are you okay? I'm fine.
Why do we always
No, I'm
fight?
fine. I'm just upset because Bridget got me so
debate.
fucking
We
good.
have thoughts.
I just... Why do we have to fight every time, guys? Can't
It's
we?
not funny.
Well, no. Here's the thing.
Intelligent conversation.
You're missing. I'm not gonna say you specifically, but that idea is missing the point.
No, I know. I'm just...
Madison
I was
and
playing
I
around.
respect each other enough.
I don't respect you at all.
Damn.
No, just playing.
Only
Damn,
in Madison. You
that
don't
was worse
respect
than
anybody
Artie
else.
Archie. I'm throwing myself out here like I'm mad
I
respect you.
respect you for real.
I think that we add interesting conversation.
Only you two.
I agree.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
You said, me and Madison, we respect each other.
We were just the two arguing. Okay, fine. All four of us equally respect each other, and we add something interesting to the
I
argument.
respect everyone but Bridget for doing that to me. You could have just let me call him Archie.
Because as much as it seems
I'm
like
sorry.
on relationship wise, everybody's kind of like on the same page. There are differences that you'll pick up in this conversation, and they're very enlightening. I just get to see new perspectives from everybody.
Bridget, I feel like Bridget also like loves to hate Glee is the way that I do. I feel
agree.
like Bridget likes it a little more. Like she's more sympathetic toward Glee.
Yeah, in
I
the
mean, it
same
was
way that
something I
you're
grew up
not sympathetic.
No, I think Glee's fucking stupid, and I love it so much.
Like, I used to like write little Glee fan fiction during class
oh my God,
on notebook paper.
Guys,
It's gone.
pay us on...
Those are
God
long
damn
gone.
it. I was gonna say, put us on
Well,
Patreon.
actually, I bet my mom probably kept them because
You guys
she's
can
that
read
bitch.
Bridget's Warrior Cats fan fiction.
I never wrote
Oh,
Warrior
no,
Cats
you
fanfiction.
wrote-
I have read
one
your
of
Warrior
them?
Cats.
That was a
roleplay.
role play. That's different.
Bridget,
What the
Bridget,
fuck
were you
We're
a
splitting
horse
fucking
girl?
hairs here.
Can we rate the turn?
Were you
for the
like
love
one of those
God?
horse girls? Were you like one of
Bridget
those
was a
girls in
Warrior
elementary
Cats
school
girl.
that were
I
like
was
obsessed
like-
with horses?
I wasn't obsessed with horses.
She's a cat
Like
girl.
cats?
I was
Like you were like obsessed with some
Do
animal.
you
like
have
a
or
horse,
have
right?
ever had cat ears?
I never had cat ears.
But she definitely had Warrior Cats role plays.
Oh no!
like handwritten in
Maybe
notebooks.
maybe I'm turned off to that
Past
idea
and-
because the only girl I ever knew that liked Warrior Cats, her name was Cat, last name redacted, school redacted, city redacted.
Well, then why even
but
say it?
she no, this is great. In elementary school, she snuck into this boy's house.
what?
She was a fucking weirdo, dude. She also used to meow at people and growl at people. She thought she was a cat.
Oh, we had those at
Yeah.
our school.
Were you one of them?
Do it right now.
I wasn't one of. I was not
Oh,
one
no.
of them.
I think it was.
I think it's the other
I mean,
Just keep talking. Nope.
That's so fucking stupid.
there we go.
Oh God, that's assaulting to our audience.
What are we gonna do,
I just
Doolittle? By the way,
Oh my god, we need
Are
to
we
do it.
gonna do it?
Okay.
Are we gonna do more for Doolittle?
We have to talk about this off the podcast because I have
Okay.
actual revelations that cannot be
Okay.
heard
Yeah,
here.
okay.
Okay.
So, real quick, I just want to say I've dated 2 Warrior Cats girls in succession.
Oh God.
So, I don't know, lesbians is
I'm
the
about to
same.
say like lesbian and warrior cats is just like bees in a
I never
pod.
read Warrior Cats.
Me
But
either.
both Bridget and the girl I dated previously, which if you're out there, hey.
What up? Do you still watch Warrior Cats? Leave a comment.
what?
Are you so cringe?
Oof.
Not because of the Warrior Cats, just for a myriad of other reasons.
Can we be in one of your videos suggested?
Stop. Okay, we really can't do it like that.
Okay.
Oh my god.
But anyway, 2 Warrior Cats girls in successions. Now I think we should rate the turning because I want to take a break.
Yes.
I want my phone, which I threw across the room.
Okay. You guys want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's a 1.5 out of 10.
Oh, are you looking at me because it's my turn?
No, I'm just letting you
Do
guys
you
know.
have an explanation or? do you
Sure,
want to
it was
not
shit,
share?
but it was short, so I don't have to deal with it for that long. And I rated the 0.5 solely on the fact that it gave us really, really great after conversation in the sense that we had a lot to talk about with the podcast. So that's what brought it above a 1 for me. I can't give it a half a star because of way fucking worse films I've seen. So that's where it kind of lands in the 1 and then the 0.5 because it gave us good conversation.
Yeah, I want to go ahead. I'm gonna give it like a, I don't know if this is a thing, but like an F plus.
That's a D minus.
Okay, sure, a D minus then, because it was really bad, but like the acting wasn't terrible. It was pretty well acted. I kind of thought,
That little girl was good.
yeah, and Finn Wolfhard was good despite him being weird.
I got the spider for you, Crunch.
Yeah, gross.
Can't believe we almost didn't mention that.
Oh, I know. But yeah, so the acting was pretty good. I mean, it didn't though the editing and like the general tone didn't fit what the movie was trying to be. It wasn't like it was nice to look at, ish. And yeah, it gave us fun things to talk about. So yeah, D minus. It wasn't good. Don't see it.
So I'm gonna give it okay. So I'm gonna rate the movie itself as a 1 out of 10 because it was really kind of offensive and I was upset
It was offensive on many fronts.
on many fronts.
To the eyes, to the brain, to the soul.
Just entirely. I'm gonna rate the experience that we had, Madison and I, in that theater, 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
Because-
our audience was great.
They were fantastic.
And everybody was joining in. Everybody was just making their little comments. It's like when you go to see Rocky Horror and everybody just yells at the screen all the time. And
Oh
calls
yes,
Janet a
I used
slut.
to do Rocky Horror, and I love everything about
That's
it.
how
I
it
love
felt.
Rocky Horror
I mean,
so
I've never
much.
done it, but that's how how it felt. How I imagined that would feel. Also, at one point, Finn Wolfhard was being really creepy, and somebody in the audience went, "You're going to jail."
Yes.
And also then Madison and I also snuck in McDonald's.
We did do that.
And that was a pretty enjoyable experience. So like 9 out of 10 for the experience, 1 out of 10 for the movie.
Yeah, we had our chicken nuggies.
I had a
Chicken McNugget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frani, what do you say?
I'm going to say 2 out of 10 because I was offended. I thought it was awful. The one redeeming thing was the child actors. I liked Finn Wolfhard and I liked the little girl a lot.
Sweet. All right, so let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll talk about Get Out. We'll talk about a good movie. Okay, hello. We're back.
We are indeed.
We're going to talk about Get Out if Bridget will ever stop texting.
I'm sorry. I
So-
was promoting our podcast.
Nice.
I was.
Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one who's like posting on social media.
That's not true. I just share your post.
Oh, do you like the little things I write on it? The little inspirational stuff?
I'm just like, I just share them and I don't write anything. I'm just like, hey, I make a podcast. Like, listen to it or don't.
But does like it inspire you when you read my little moments?
Sure. It inspires me a lot.
Okay, good. 'Cause
Your daily
I do
emo posts inspire me. every
Yeah,
day.
dude. Oh, the upside down one was pretty bad.
I know. It literally was scary.
So, Jordan Peele,
Speaking of things that are scary.
My boy.
a new master of horror, probably top 5 new horror directors
Yeah.
of like the last like 5 years.
He's great.
Now let's talk about his literal debut film, his first feature, being nominated for Best Picture, winning him an
It
Oscar.
wasn't nominated for Best Picture.
Yes, it was.
Really?
Yeah, Get Out was nominated for Best Picture.
Amazing.
In fact, it was leading in a lot of the pre-Oscar
Are you
polls.
sure?
Absolutely. Get Out was nominated for Best Picture, and it won Best Original Screenplay as well.
I know it won that.
Yeah, it was nominated for Best Picture.
I'm looking it up. I don't know.
She needs to
Okay,
know.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I believe you, but for some reason that just does not sound correct.
It's because it was a horror movie, a genre film.
Maybe so.
I wonder if I might be able to name all those nominated films. Actually, it's 3 Billboards, Shape of Water,
Oh, so
Lady
it was
Bird.
nominated for Best Picture.
And it was actually
Who
leading in a
knows?
lot of pre-polls because it was diverse and it was like a different kind of film to where it really rose above the cream. I think a lot of people think the only reason it didn't win is because it came out in February, so there was 10 months in between that and award season.
Yeah, I wonder if it came out in February because they didn't expect it to like do as well as it did.
Came out in February also because I think Blumhouse knew with their record of what horror movies were going to be put out around that time that putting out a really good horror movie was going to make them a lot of fucking money.
That's also probably true.
And they knew what they had. They knew it was going to be good because they promoted the ever-living fuck out of it. So
Yeah,
I remember all the promotions.
I remember I saw Get Out in theaters like pretty soon after it came out, and my theater was packed.
yeah. And it's
Like
because
we had to wait in line.
they did great promotion. And the trailers, the big thing is there was a lot of big scares given away in the trailers, but the trailers gave you fucking nothing about the film, and that was really great. Because a lot of horror fans get so annoyed because these trailers will give away everything.
And I think it kind of did a good thing by not giving away sort of the politics of the movie.
Yeah, because a lot of people took it organically and didn't even know they learned something. You know what I mean?
Like and like I know I saw it with sort of my family, and they liked it a lot, but they were also like, I didn't expect it to be so like. I don't know if they said this, but like racial almost.
Yeah, no, I mean that is. I mean, it was definitely.
I don't know that they expected it to be that.
And the thing is, the what's great about Jordan Peele as a director is that he makes the popcorn horror films while also being incredibly thought provoking and smart. And this movie, like you said, it kind of snuck in on people, and like people after the fact, realize like that was a lot more than just like a standard horror movie. And I think that's good because you're getting in an audience where if they knew it was going to be an artsy film, they wouldn't fucking see it.
Right.
But now that they saw it, they can appreciate it for what it is, which is a much higher film and a much better film than what they thought they were getting.
And like the best horror movies are the ones that are subversive and that relate to the scary things about our real lives.
Definitely.
Unlike The Turning, bad movie. But yeah, so like the best horror movies are the ones that that show us what is scary about life and about the world that we live in an artistic and fun way to watch. And like Get Out is super fun to watch.
It is. It is always, especially in a group. It is just so like everything's so heightened, and you also have the character. I think it's Russ, the TSA guy.
Oh yeah.
I think his
name is Russ.
Yeah, he's such a good entry point for people watching because you have these loud reactions to this ridiculous shit, and then when he gets the call about like everything, he has those same huge reactions. You're like, fucking finally, somebody who's normal and understanding what's going on in the film, other than our main character. Also, this film has one of the best rewatchability factors I've ever seen. I mean, it's really got an amazing rewatch.
When we all watched it together,
Definitely.
it was my first time rewatching it since I had seen it in theaters that first time. And like I'd always like kind of wanted to and just never got around to it, but like rewatching it was so good. But this was Bridget's first watch.
It was my first watch, which is actually a chain brand of front direct restaurants as well.
One of my favorites.
Crickets.
Okay.
I don't know. It
is my first one. It's a Rolex.
it's 1:28 a.m. right now. My brain is melting.
I don't know. What did you think about Get Out, Bridget and Frani and Logan?
Oh my god, I really loved it. I thought it was really well put together. I thought that I really want to go back and rewatch it because of that rewatchability factor. Like everything, I was just thinking about it, and like everything like clicks. The writing in it was so amazing. And
Oscar winning.
Because, I mean, you can look back and be like, oh shit, I see how...
What
Fran-
the fuck was
did
that?
something real fucking weird.
Franny, are you okay?
I like burped and yawned at the same time and barely had
real
enough time to
gross.
You
move
yerped
away.
right on microphone. You're yerping all over the place.
I moved.
Isn't
As
Europe
Bridget
one of those
This can
previously
feed
stated,
3 to 6
It is almost
people.
2 a.m. in the morning and my brain is
2
melting.
a.m. in the morning. That's a little
2
redundant.
a.m. in the morning.
But no,
Oh,
I think
boy.
Bridget's right about the writing. Like, there are so many little pieces of dialogue that don't mean anything in the moment, but then when you look back and think about the movie, you're like, oh wow, that was really something.
Yeah.
Like when, like the example that I think of is like he talks about his dad, you know, his claim to fame was
Bridget's
losing-
eating graham crackers,
I know.
and it's the loudest fucking thing ever.
I'm like trying to keep my sentence on track while Bridget
Madison and
crumbles
I's
his
wives
bag.
are just falling apart at the seams right
I
now.
know.
I'm sorry.
But he's talking about how his dad's claim to fame is losing to Jesse Owens, the black Olympian, and so that's sort of like an oh haha, like this old white dude's trying to be, not racist. But then later you find out that his grandpa is actually the I don't know, what do you call him, like the groundskeeper?
I would
Yeah,
gardener.
he's literally the groundskeeper.
Well,
That's
yeah,
exactly
I know. I
it.
just wasn't sure what you would call him, like landscaper, groundskeeper.
Yeah, he's
gardener guy.
absolutely the groundskeeper. Yep.
Yeah, and so like you're always seeing him like running around at night, and you're like, why does he do that? That's fucking weird. But then when you realize everything that's like happened, you're like, oh, it's because he lost to Jesse Owens, and that's why he did this thing in the first place.
And that's why he wants a black body.
Well, that's not the only reason.
I mean, one of
It's a part of it,
reasons.
but he also thinks that his intellect is higher than that of a black person, but he thinks their physical attributes
Right,
are.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like he wants his own.
Yeah.
So it's not that he wants to be a black person. It's that
He wants to inhabit a black body.
Essentially, it's like Hitler. He's trying to create like the perfect race. Like fucking, according to him,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much like, it's very much like the system of slavery, where it's like I'm using these people for what their bodies
for the
can
labor
do.
that I don't want to do, but it's my intellect and my reward for what
And like
they
the
do.
idea that they perceive them as being better at that, which is like isn't necessarily true.
Mm-hmm.
And then like all the dialogue when they're at the party and they're all like getting to know Chris. Chris is his name, right?
Yes.
I think so.
When they're all getting to know Chris and they're just like asking him weird questions, you're like, oh, this is so weird and uncomfortable. And then you realize why they're asking him that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, there's just that script is so good.
One of the best scenes, it's very reminiscent to like kind of a Hitchcockian shot, is where he goes up the stairs, everybody falls dead silent and starts looking up and listening to him going up the stairs.
Yep.
At that moment in the film, if you had any reservations of like, maybe it's like not a thing where maybe he's just coming off like he thinks it's creepy, but it's not necessarily like they're actually being creepy to him. That moment in the film is like, nope, something the fuck is going on,
weird.
but you're not going to know what it is yet. And it makes you super uneasy. And it's one of the more horrifying shots that shows you that it doesn't have to be like jump scares and ghosts. Something that subtle and that.
Yeah, I don't think this movie really has much of jump scares.
No.
To speak.
It's not at all, really. I can't really think of one.
But it's still scary.
Absolutely scarier than most movies with jump scares. You know, I think about the really like kind of dreamlike, the sunken place scenes.
Yeah. That shit's scary as fuck.
And really just well done. There's, I mean, the tone it sets and the sound mixing done within it, where it's like this big orchestra and this large music, but all the sounds are muted, kind of like they're underwater. That gives you such a cool, like, this is truly like a secondary place.
Yeah.
But also it's a secondary place where you're feeling lesser than, like you've been held back in some way. And that makes it really fucking terrifying, because then everybody, it's kind of like when you're drowning. Drowning is one of the scariest things to people. Like, it's scientifically proven that more people are scared of drowning than anything. That moment in the film makes you terrified, because in a way he's drowning, and you can relate to that with the muted noise and the just feeling like you're stuck and that you're forever sinking. That idea is so terrifying on its own.
Yeah, like in my experience, that's actually kind of what having like a panic attack feels like.
Yeah.
Because you're like, you feel like you're like in this like weird bubble, and all the people around you are talking, but they're like,
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
what
you're just like, I can't get to any of this shit. Like, it's all far away from me.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel like sometimes if I'm like triggered.
Yeah, we got mental illness up in here on Crosscut Cinema Pod.
Plenty to go around.
PTSD represent. When I get triggered.
What's up, Anxiety Squad?
PTSD squad.
Hey.
Please stop these loud noises making me anxious. Pew, pew, pew. I feel that in my bones.
But like when I get triggered and I dissociate, that's kind of how I feel, like very separate and like I'm.
I will. All right. Before you finish, because what you're saying is important. If you guys drop one more thing with those fucking graham crackers, I'm taking it away, kids.
Oh my god, Franny's throwing knives around.
It's a butter knife.
All right, now continue with your much more important statement than a fucking butter knife hitting the table.
Me yelling. I'm sorry, guys.
You're
I
good.
didn't want that.
You can hear the slides, you can hear the movement, you can hear all of it.
Everything they're doing over there.
Yes.
I'm not doing anything.
See,
anymore.
I had my snacks before we started again.
It's called responsibility.
I didn't know I was hungry until now.
Use your damn brain. Think, bro.
Just she's talking about how anxious. She's like, use your damn brain, anxious person.
Sorry.
But that's kind of how I feel when I dissociate. Like especially when I'm dissociating and I'm not like I don't have to keep functioning. There have definitely been times where I just stare at a wall. And but sometimes I dissociate and I'm at work and I can't just like break down, and so I just kind of go on autopilot. And so that's my little PTSD plug there.
But yeah, I mean, I think the movie does a really good job of like showing what it feels like to be
PTSD.com/crosscutcinema. It just felt like you did an ad drop there.
PTSD.com offers a wide range of services.
You can get 30% off when you leave #mermaidpussy on the.
Oh no.
Correct. But yeah, like I think it does a really good job of showing that sort of like how it feels to be disconnected from the things that are happening and being kind of powerless to control it. But then also that you can like overcome that as well, and you can get out of your sunken place if you are resourceful and use the tools available to you.
Correct.
What's going on?
Your opinions.
My opinions.
Yeah.
Are they being summoned?
I mean, they're always welcome.
Yeah, honestly.
Well, I mean, I liked this movie the first time. I liked it even more the second time because you do see a lot that you didn't see originally. I usually don't like. I'm usually pretty particular with the movies I like to rewatch, and I didn't think I wanted to rewatch this, but I'm really glad I did. I like what Bridget was saying about like the sunken place thing. That's kind of I totally get what you mean. Like just kind of like feeling like you're trapped inside your own body. Like that's such a fucking terrifying. Like honestly, scarier than most horror movies. You know. And I think one of the most powerful scenes to show that is when Chris is talking to who he thinks is like the housekeeper, but is really the grandma.
I was
Regina.
thinking about that.
Yeah, Regina. And he's talking
Nice.
about how like he gets nervous when there's too many white people around, like making a joke. And you just see like outwardly she's like laughing and like being like, no. And but like she's just fucking crying because that like the actual Regina's like trying to come out. I thought that was one of the most chilling scenes, honestly.
Yeah, and like how fucked is it that like, you know, it's almost like you're still in there, but you just are not behind the wheel. You're just,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's one of the more like I said, it's a concept so terrifying that it doesn't need like a lead up or like a sense of fatality.
Right.
It'd be better if it offered death.
Yeah,
It's one
and,
of the
like,
scary things where
Right.
you'd rather fucking
And
die.
you know, there's so many movies about like possession because the idea that you were a backseat in your own like reality and consciousness is terrifying. And so this is like possession without all the supernatural aspects of it, and that's what makes it so scary.
Can I tell you guys real quick about I have really bad like night terrors and dreams and stuff like that. And I had a dream once where I'll spare you the details on the podcast, but I'll tell you guys the whole story later because it's crazy. But in the dream, I was possessed. It is the worst. Like it was the worst time I've ever the worst way I've ever felt in a dream because I felt myself moving and you know like that uncomfortable like feeling of like not being in control of yourself kind of thing. But it was me like
Just give me a chill.
yes, and it's like me like almost basically walking around tiptoed, essentially like jolting around and then attacking somebody, and I felt it like in my dream, out of control of myself. And when I woke up, I was swinging my arm to hurt somebody. I woke up swinging my arm. So I hate possession stuff because it scares the fuck out of me.
Triggers
So
your night terrors.
It really, I mean, it will. Yeah, if something like that really freaks me out, it will totally trigger that shit back up.
Okay,
Or,
so
like-
note that our pick is not The Exorcist for next week.
So here's the thing: The Exorcist wasn't as effective as some other films. Not to bring up Hereditary again, but there's stuff in Hereditary where you know I'm not going to give you whether it's like you know anything like that, but there's motions of not being in control of yourself that really
Right.
resonated. So yeah. That shit really freaks me the fuck out. So
Heck
this
yeah.
film is very effective on that front for multiple reasons, but also me personally, it's really goddamn scary.
Big oof. So like, I want to ask a little bit lighter, I guess. So,
Was
like,
it that scary? I didn't realize it was that dark. Sorry.
No, it's okay. But like, I just want to ask you, Bridget, like, at what point did you figure out what was actually happening? Because I just don't remember that point for me when I watched the movie in theaters. And so, like, this is my second watch. So I was, like, wondering when you figured out what was actually going on and, like, why Chris was really there.
I honestly don't remember.
Okay, that's
So
fair.
it's been a couple.
It's been 1 week.
Oh, I'm sorry. Has it been 1 week?
Yeah,
It's been.
like a week. Or no, I guess it has been 2 because we decided
It's been
last week
2.
that we were going to do.
Yeah. So I don't remember.
I remember mine,
Mm-hmm.
if that helps, because I remember
Yeah.
thinking, holy shit. Because I don't remember who it was. I didn't see it with you. I saw it with somebody else.
Yeah.
I can't remember who though. I think it might have been Zane. If it's you, let me know because I think it was you. I remember because I'm known for this. If I figure out something in a movie, I instantly turn to the person next to me and spoil the fuck out of it. I try so hard not to, but god damn it, there's something in me that's like, I know the answer. I'm a smart boy. I must share. And it's a bad habit I'm trying to break. But I turned to him after they took a picture of the Logan character and his eyes lit up like that, and then he like ran toward him. I'm like, okay, it's one of two things, and I'm pretty sure they're somehow taking over their physical bodies, but it could be that they're like brainwashing them to be like obedient.
That's what
But there was just something so like almost like he wasn't like a blank slave. He had his own quirky personality. I'm like, why would they personally do that? Why wouldn't they just make him a physical slave? I'm like, I think it's a person inside of that person.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure, obviously, until it was literally like explained the brain surgery. I mean, I couldn't have been exactly sure until that exact moment.
Yeah. And then like I don't know, just this movie, man. Like it says so much about how people act like and think that they truly are like woke, so to speak. And
I would have
like,
voted for Obama a third time.
right, and that they are not racist and don't play a part in racism, but then at the very same time are totally willing to do what they're doing. Like, and these people, and I'm sure these people don't think of themselves as being racist because they don't understand it that way. You know what I mean?
Another thing is the film doesn't outright say this, but it's very obvious that they also carried out this mission on African Americans in particular, because when they go missing or are killed, it is much less reported, much less cared about.
Yeah,
that's just factual. That's just factual.
That was heavily implied, if not said.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't exactly say it, but that's one of the things I took away, where I was like, that has to be an element of why they specifically choose African Americans, because it's also a lot, you know, I guess you could say, harder to specify a specific race. And I mean, I know that there was like a lot of hate and fucking racism in their heart, but I think they also boil down to these are the specific group of people where they won't look, so it's easier for us to do.
And then, I mean, I think that there's also like a fetishization aspect of it too.
Definitely.
Of, like,
absolutely.
Of like, you know,
Oh God,
of
I never even
blackness.
thought about that. Yeah,
And I think,
which is why they take their physical bodies.
yeah.
And like for them, they're probably, well, no, that's not racist because you know, I want what they have, but that's still racist.
Mm-hmm. It is. I want your eye, you know?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, that was fucked. That's
And
another
for
scene
that
I
guy to be
missed
like,
getting
and
drawn.
for him, it really wasn't about the race aspect.
But in a way, it still is.
But it just shows that he's complicit in it because it's advantageous to him.
Well,
Which is like how so much of us, and like even people who aren't racist and don't think of themselves as racist, like all white people are in some way complicit in systematic racism because we benefit from it.
So I'll say this too. I think even then, the character who was just complicit, there was also a racist angle to him, because there was clearly a culturally black theme to his photography. And that's what he zoned in on, like that your pieces are so great, and he fetishized also that like style and that demo and that culture. So I think he also was racist in that way too, where he's like, black, essentially the black is in style is kind of his thought process.
Yeah, and then like him being blind is so symbolic because it's like when people say I don't see race.
Yeah, he's blind to his own racism as well.
There's this great book called Racism Without Racists, and it's that same idea of like, it's about this idea of like the idea that like, oh, I'm colorblind, I don't see color, I don't see race. That just makes you complicit in it. Like, it's not enough to not see race. You have to see race in order to understand the oppression that people face.
right.
It's called Racism Without Racist. I can't think of the name of the book,
when people
but it is
say,
good. I would recommend it a lot.
When people say I don't see race, it also brings up this argument of, so you're not going to respect essentially the hardships of those who are affected by race.
And
I mean, like, affected by who they are.
It lets you pretend that racism doesn't exist
And
anymore.
it's dismissive. It's not progressive. It's dismissive.
right, and
oh, go ahead.
to be able to dismantle the system in which racism exists and is put in place in, like, built into the structure, then you need to be able to see race.
Yeah, I mean, you have to acknowledge it.
You have to acknowledge it. You have to be able to fix the problem. You have to be able to say, like, I see this is here.
It's not as simple as fixing a problem as much as it is just noting it and respecting it.
Yeah, just because something's uncomfortable to think about doesn't mean we don't.
It's never going to be fixed, because that implies that it's something that's forgivable on a front, When in reality, they're the horrible perception that people have. There's going to be people that never change, and I think for those who never change, the people who are willing to like actually be reasonable human beings and respect people of a different race or note their privilege and things like that. They should do it and do it tenfold, but understand that nothing's gonna make up for it. Nothing's gonna change it.
Right, and the best we can do is just hope to change the system.
Yeah.
And make reality better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and just like that character, especially on the rewatch, was like, I don't know, so interesting, and just the idea. And he was like, you know, I'm not like these other guys. I just want your eye, man. And like, so he was like not realizing.
Yeah, exactly.
Which that's how everybody is. Everybody thinks they're not part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, at least most people do.
And you know, the other really interesting character in this movie, or the interesting like antagonist in this movie is the girlfriend whose name I can't remember.
There is nothing.
Rose.
There, yeah, it was Rose.
Yeah,
Rosie. Yeah.
Rose, I think is right.
I don't know why I thought Jessica.
Can we talk about the whitest thing ever? Is eating Fruit Loops separate from your glass of milk?
So gross.
And wearing all
Milk
white,
is so white.
crisscross
Milk
with a
is
ponytail.
so white.
I hate milk so much.
Man,
But it is a
Why are
white
you hating
man's
on
drink.
milk?
I like
It's
milk,
gross.
but
It's a white man's drink.
what the fuck?
It is.
What?
Milk is so gross.
I
I say this as a white person.
yeah.
Like I'm not
I'm gonna
a
go
fan.
ahead and just like write that off as one of your quirks because
I'm just fucking around, but I do hate milk. It is gross.
I mean, you
I
love ice
also
cream.
Well, yeah, but I like when you will never catch me drinking a glass of milk. It's
like very
disgusting.
rarely will I drink a glass of milk. I
Dude,
don't know. It's
love
just
a good,
gross.
like, refreshing glass of milk, dude.
Like
only in cereal if the cereal's chocolatey.
No,
that's very specific.
I'm literally the guy where like you'll see me like grab a glass of milk versus something else. I fucking love it.
It's gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, just that character is so interesting, especially because a lot of people's reaction to her was like, "Oh no, she must be brainwashed too." Like, no, the fuck she wasn't, dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
did.
well, you mean in the sense of like how other people not like in. I understand what you're saying.
No, like
Yeah,
she
I was about to say, she
not
definitely
brainwashed,
might
but
she was
be brainwashed.
I thought she was hypnotized,
Mhm.
and that is on me. I am very forgiving of women.
But yeah, no, she
You
was
both
not.
are.
But she was not hypnotized at
She
all.
wasn't. She was
No,
a
it wasn't
cunt.
hypnotized, just brainwashed as a child. But
Well,
I just wanna,
but she was.
I want to
she
say
was,
this. What she just said, I want to really acknowledge it. That's true of both of you.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, in this case, no. I was like,
A
no,
woman
this
could
bitch,
shit on this table right now, and you'd find a way
If
you'd
two,
find a way to
two
excuse
human
it.
beings walked into the room and both took a shit, you'd be so much more upset about the guy who took the shit versus the lady.
Well, I don't want to see his dick.
She's a queen.
You want to see his cock?
Ew,
Oh,
don't.
Get out of here! You're fired.
But like for a man to like shit on a table, I feel like you'd have to
What do you mean?
like
What?
you'd have to like
Whatever. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
anyway.
But yeah, just like a lot of people's reactions. A lot
She's
of people's
saying a
reaction,
dick would be seen, and she's not cool with that.
I'm
a
not
lot of
cool
people's
with that.
reaction to that character. I'm steamrolling right past it.
I love it. I love your
Was-
I gotta
style.
ignore this bias right now and
That's
move on to the
like
film.
in that video that we watched earlier, where he was making a fucking joke and she was just like, "Nope, we're gonna keep talking."
Yeah,
about
we're gonna keep JJ the Jet playing the fuck out of here.
But no, like I feel like right after the movie came out, a lot of people were like, "Oh, I bet she's also hypnotized too," and the actress all the time was just like, "No, that is not what the fuck happened." But like, yeah, so just like that character is really interesting as well to me.
It
I
is an
also-
interesting character because, like, it's so crazy how genuine she came off at first.
I think it's interesting how many people wanted to defend her.
Yeah.
Like, are we not going to pay attention to the actions of the character? Like,
That
Right.
just shows how, like, decent she seemed before.
or
and
how
like,
fake
human.
woke people can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and she was so performative in her wokeness as well, and just for her to be like, "You were one of my favorites," like she doesn't even see this dude as a person.
It's like
Yeah.
Mike Bloomberg coming out here like, yeah, I'm so woke. And then he's like,
How do you do, fellow kids?
yeah, how are you? I love big gay ice cream.
Oh, no. I mean,
But then
we
he's
all
also
love
like,
big
Stop
gay
and
ice
Frisk is
cream.
pretty lit. Sorry, we're getting too political. I'm just saying.
But Mike Bloomberg, if you're listening, Donate to our Patreon and we'll give you nothing.
Yeah, donate to our Patreon and you'll forget you ever donated to it because you're spending $270 million on bullshit.
Mike
Mike
Bloomberg, if you're
drop out
listening,
challenge.
I was about to say drop the fuck out.
We're just like
Drop
spend
the fuck dead, Mike
Can
Bloomberg.
you spend the money or like invest in your campaign to like feed people? Give a motherfucker
that'd
a
be cool.
sandwich or some shit, dude.
Correct.
Give him some big gay ice cream.
Yeah, donate to our Patreon.
I mean, if he loves it so much, he should
Drop
spread
out,
it
drop in.
around.
Heck yeah.
I want it to be known that I'm coming back to this. I'm sorry. I want it to be known that I did not. I didn't think she was brainwashed. Like at the end of the
Hold on.
movie.
I thought Bridget was gonna say, I want it to be known that I don't know who Mike Bloomberg is.
I want it to be known that I don't like big gay ice cream.
Which, like, if that was the case, I wish that were me. I wish I didn't know who Mike Bloomberg was.
No, that's not the
What the
case.
fuck?
I just wanted to be known that like I didn't come out at the end being like she must have still been brainwashed. I figured it out pretty before the movie ended. She wasn't brainwashed. So
Right.
I collected it when she had all these pictures of everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
like-
yeah, that was
fucked.
weird.
And then she hung them all up behind her. I'm just like, you crazy bitch.
Yeah, like you took the time to do that.
Yeah, again. And she's going to have to take them all down again anyway.
Right. And
They're
just,
her
like, and just
trophies.
like how each of the family members
Oh, shit. I didn't even think about that. Good point.
Yeah, like serial killers keep trophies.
And she's kind of murdering them in a way.
Yeah, I mean, she
That's
really
how I
is.
saw it too. I just thought everybody saw it like that.
Oh, yeah.
As,
I
like,
guess I'm a big
trophies.
old fucking dumb, I
Yeah, you
guess.
stupid.
I
mean,
fucking
Why do
guess.
you even watch movies?
Yeah,
You
boy.
don't even understand how movie work. Do you even know what happened in Fight Club? Do you even fucking know, you stupid? Big Lebowski don't know shit.
You don't know shit
Oh,
about
no.
Pulp Fiction.
Wait, what was in the suitcase?
What was in this?
In the lighthouse. What was in the lighthouse? What was the light? Doesn't matter what the light was. That's not the point of the fucking movie.
Disgusting. We don't
You dumb
discuss
bitch.
that gross ass
Um,
movie anymore.
But
Robert Pattinson's. Have you seen the look of Batman? His new like suit and everything. He looks fucking good, dude.
I love that man.
He looks so good as Batman right now. Oh my god. He's gonna be fucking amazing. Sorry.
Ooh, Robert Pattinson, Batman.
He's gonna be so good.
Heck yeah, I'm excited for that actually. But yeah, like just there's like so much good about this movie, and like there are things that maybe didn't work so well in this movie, but like I don't even want to talk about them because it's not important.
It is like so far and few between.
Right.
Yeah.
Like what is even something? Like I just want an example.
Like I know one thing that we talked about was sort of like the explainer video of like
Yeah.
this is how the whole operation works.
Yeah, but I think I'm actually gonna go back on what I said.
I mean, like I get why it's and like I go back and forth on it too because like in some ways I'm like I'm glad it was there to sort of explain things.
It's just to keep things more commercial.
Right.
Which when it's a message like this, I want as many people to see it as possible. So I kind of am okay with it, but I get why like from like a real like studious like film perspective, like somebody who wants to take it all in as totally fresh and not be explained anything, why it's annoying. Because the rest of the film treats its audience very smart.
Yeah.
But then that one moment is just like, okay, just in
to
case.
like make sure that you understand everything that's going on.
And
right
and
now.
I think it's okay because it's not just to explain the content of the film. He's not worried about people getting the plot. He's worried about people getting the message.
Yeah.
So that's why it works for me.
And I mean the movie, the little interlude where he sees that does do a good job of like giving
It's
you
natural.
a quick thematic rundown.
Yeah, and it's natural.
But I say this that I wouldn't want to lose that scene where he talks to the person who's like purchased him. Yeah. But just that little like intro video I could have done without. But again, it's not really that much of a flaw for me. It's just a matter of personal preference.
I'd say my biggest thing is I go back and forth on what ending I wanted. Because there's two. If you get the Blu-ray, you can watch the deleted ending, the alternate ending, and there is an absolutely separate, different message there.
Yeah, I mean, I ultimately like the ending that the movie got.
Mm-hmm.
I think and I think the other ending is much more bleak.
It pretty much boils down to, do we care more about ultimately entertainment, or do we care more about really like kicking this message like through the door? And I think in this case the film might be more effective as being super like digestible.
Yeah, and like and it's it's hard to watch that other ending. And I think that the good aspects of the alternate ending made it into the ending that we ultimately got.
Yeah, in a way, definitely.
Like the sort of important message that, like, even after all this, he'll still face oppression and racism. Like, that happens when you see him put his hands up when his friend drives up to come and get him. And you see that happen as well in the alternate ending, but it's the actual police that time.
And you can...
And so, like, that aspect of it...
You can tell that the ending he went with is the second one.
Yeah.
Just because the whole film is so systematic and clean in its explanations. And then he gets in the TSA car. He's like, consider it fucking handled. In other words, we are getting out now. We don't... this explanation doesn't need to happen.
Yeah.
Because we got everything across. People know you're safe because you're with the motherfucking TSA. We don't need to explain how we're going to get out of this one because it's not the important part of the story.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a great moment and it feels really good as an audience, but then that other ending, it says something different.
And it's also way more calculated and exact. Like the rest of the film
And it makes a little more sense, to be honest.
It does, yeah.
But, like, that doesn't matter so much, when you...
I'm good.
Okay. Frani falling
We all just stopped and stared at her.
I'm
And
not
she
falling
just felt
asleep. I was resting my eyes in between
Sure.
talking.
But yeah, I think that other ending makes a little bit more sense. But it doesn't necessarily have to. The ending that we got still makes enough sense that it's fine, and it makes you feel better as an audience, which is something.
Because that last little bit of the film also was like, fuck.
Right.
Like you're just feeling it the whole time.
And, like, I think that this movie, probably people wouldn't like it as much, especially, like, to the wide audience to which it appeals, if it had that other ending. I think that's
people would have walked out and been like, that movie sucked because of that ending.
Yeah, I think that's the ending. That's an ending that people would have taken, like, the ending of The Turning. We'll be like, well, that fucking that's shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
agree.
but I don't want to compare them because the alternate ending of Get Out is actually really good.
Yeah.
But I think that people would take it, would not enjoy it.
Yeah. It's all about, are we looking for the most entertaining film or are we looking for the most to say?
And that's a choice you have to make. And I don't think that. And I don't think that he is wrong for choosing the most entertaining choice because he still gets his message through. And he still makes the movie he wants to make, and more people get to see it. And
the choices he made as a filmmaker too, were just like, to give an example, with the Sunken Place stuff, you really instantly got the vibe that how he was going to be as a director or producer. Mm-hmm. Because when I first saw that, I was like, oh, that's like so Twilight Zone-y and all this. And then what happens? He's the new Twilight Zone guy. You know, he's the new host and producer. Right. So,
is that any good?
I think you can still watch the first episode on YouTube. It is good. Yeah. It's not as sci-fi as I thought it would be. Mm. But I mean, he does a great job as the host too, because he is like a new master of horror in that sense. Right. But and
then I think that the widespread appeal that Get Out had, which it totally deserved, sort of allowed him to be a little bit more niche and a little bit more abstract when he went and made Us.
It gave him those Scorsese pants, as we say. He can make what he wants and people are still going to go see it.
Right. It gave him the ability to, you know, sort of flex his muscles and like do things a little bit differently and not have to be so commercial because he could kind of like.
And let's be careful about Us to not spoil too, because I'm like so ready to spoil it, but I want to talk about it separately.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about Us too much, but yeah, I think that he was able to have a little bit more freedom and didn't have to be so commercial in that movie because Get Out did so well.
Yeah, definitely. And Blumhouse, I'm sure, is like so still shitting their pants, excited the fact that they got him, and you know for a fact that like they're eyeing A24 like, can we steal Ari Aster too? Because holy shit.
Ari Aster, don't leave A24. You stay right where you're at.
But you know that's like talked about because those are the two directors everybody keeps talking about with their horror films.
I know, but Ari, please stay where you are. Stay with A24. Yeah, ride it out with them.
Yeah, I mean they need you in a way because
they need you and you're doing great.
Yeah, they need the commercial success movies because their art films are awesome, but who the fuck is going to see those other than people who actually appreciate it?
And like Ari, you're doing great. You're right where you need to be. You're at home. But yeah, so the new so that Antebellum movie, is that
Produced.
Jordan Peele's producing. Who's like directing and stuff?
Oh, it's a lady. She's a good director. She's also African American. She's very talented. She's done a lot of good shorts.
Oh, that's good. Is this gonna be like her first full length?
I don't know if it's her first. It's one of her first. I can tell you that.
I like that.
Might be her second.
I like that he's working with somebody newer.
Yeah, she's really good. I can't remember her name.
Director. There's
She's
two
got
directors.
dreads. She's got dreads. The one that I know.
It says Gerard Bush and Christopher Renz.
Antebellum?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm. Hold on. Let me grab my IMDb.
You thinking of The Invisible Man? Because I keep thinking of The Invisible Man for whatever reason.
I don't know if it's that either. Hold on. Do the talkie.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I mean, Janelle Monáe's in it, and I love her so much. I love Janelle Monáe more than life itself. Oh, Gabri, I don't know how to say her last name. Sadib?
That sounds familiar. What is the feature?
What is the feature of her?
What is she? What did you find her on?
She's in the cast. What did I find her on?
And that's not it. Never mind. Hold on.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's directed by Gerard Bush and Christopher Renz. Janelle Monáe's in it. I don't.
Oh, I was thinking of Candyman. I was thinking of the Candyman remake. Sorry. Sorry.
No, I'm really excited about Antebellum. I think it's going to be really good. It probably, and I think that it's kind of capitalizing off Jordan Peele right now. I don't think it's going to be as good as a Jordan Peele movie, maybe.
Yeah, if you've ever heard of Nia DaCosta, I always forget her name, but she did this really cool feature called Little Woods, and then Jordan Peele was originally going to direct Candyman, but then he got her to sign on to it.
Wait, is Jordan Peele even producing Antebellum?
I thought he was, isn't he?
Well, no, I'm not sure.
It's on the sign.
I think he's an executive producer, right? Blumhouse is putting him on so much stuff just to sell the poster. Like, they're just stapling his name
Right,
to
they're
stuff.
like, Jordan Peele knows us.
Of Get Out and Us fame, Oscar-winning Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele is connected to Candyman.
Yeah, he's the producer. That's what I was getting confused then. But Nia DaCosta, she's really talented. I'm very excited for the Candyman remake.
I'm not seeing anything about Antebellum related to him, which is upsetting.
I mean, you sure he's not executive producing on it?
I literally don't know.
Maybe they just put from the same studio of Jordan Peele's.
How lame is that? I thought it was like connected to him.
I mean, dude, they're gonna sell him no matter what. He's making the most financially successful horror films, you know.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's. I think that it's just. Okay, yeah. Here's what it says.
Oh no.
While Peele is not attached to this project, the producers have overlap as they have worked on projects with him before. So that's from Screen Rant. So he's not attached to this project.
So the poster probably says, "From the studio of executive producer Jordan Peele."
It probably says really tiny, "From the studio of," a little bit bigger, "executive producer, big Jordan Peele."
Yeah, probably.
Like, oh, Jordan Peele's attached to this movie. No, the fuck he ain't.
No. But
Sorry,
he's
but I
attached to
still do wanna
Candyman,
see-
which I'm excited for.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. But I still do want to see Antebellum. I'm not saying that I don't want to see it, but I thought that Jordan Peele was attached to it because it's a little misleading.
It is a little That's why I got him confused. I was like, I know he's working on it.
And that's why you thought that the Candyman director was directing Antebellum. Which
Yeah, I know. Which made me look like a dummy.
we figured it out. We got it together.
But yeah, Nia DaCosta, she's great.
Yeah.
So, I feel like considering there's, I'm about to say half of us are near deceased.
No,
I'm
Bridget's
not-
still alive.
I'm just resting my head on the table.
She's not closed her eyes, though.
I've not closed my
I can
eyes.
tell when Bridget
That
goes
was
to
a-
sleep.
That was a butt dial.
Franny just called me.
I butt dialed you.
She's like, where are we?
I butt dialed you.
Okay, so should we
My
do...
phone has a mind of its own. I've got a fucking Samsung and it just does not work. Not even kind of.
Oof. So should we do ratings then?
Not sponsored.
You ready for it?
I want to go last since I went first on the last one.
Okay, I'll go first. I would give Get Out an A+. I love this movie. I think it's great.
Whoa.
I think Get Out's great. I love it.
Yeah.
There's very few things that I don't like about it, and then the things that I personally don't like, I understand them as a choice, and I can't even be mad.
I'm gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10. The half
Back
is
that 0.5, baby.
the 0.5 is because I don't know, like it seems like a very high praised, and I don't know. I feel like I'm probably not thinking of something that I have to say about it, but it's also very late. And I'm
Melty brain.
melty brain, yeah. So I'm going to give it a 9.5 or maybe a 10, depending on the time of day.
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I've liked this movie for a long time. Well, since Logan showed me it, because he shows me all the good movies. I think Jordan Peele's an excellent director. I just don't want to give it a perfect score because it's not like one of my favorite movies, but I really enjoy watching it, and I think I even enjoyed it more the second time around. I think originally I would have rated it like a 7.5.
I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Heck yeah. All right.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I mean, obviously, like, my 9 out of 10s are like favorite movies of the year kind of thing. My 10 out of 10s are like,
I mean,
when the fuck does that even happen? It's so rare. So.
I mean, my grading is based on like the movie for what it is, not really in comparison to other things. And I think for what it was trying to do, it just did it so successfully.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think any issues that I have with Get Out are totally around some pacing issues for me.
Yeah.
Which are not like super bad, but like not, and like for instance, like a movie like Jojo Rabbit. I know I talk about Jojo Rabbit all the goddamn time. But has great fucking pacing.
Yeah. But I mean, you know what? Like, Get Out, it's a first fucking feature. And
dude,
that's
it is an
amazing.
incredible. It is my. I'd say Ari Aster was the only person who's like hit it out of the park more on a first feature.
Yeah.
But that's because like Hereditary is a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah. I want to say, like, I've had my little eyeball on Ari Aster before he made Hereditary.
So
That's
did
my
I.
humble brag,
So
dude.
did I. I had it on him before that too.
I was like, oh, he's gonna be one to watch. He's gonna do it to us soon.
I knew. I really knew the moment the first trailer came out with the graveyard gravel. You know what I'm talking about, where they're panning down the as the coffin lowers.
Oh heck yeah, yeah.
I knew right then there was like there's a new master horror right there because that shot that takes time. That shot takes dedication.
Yeah, I saw like a short film that he did, and it was so good. And I was like,
it's
I
all
can't wait for him
they're like all over YouTube.
Yeah. But yeah, I saw one of his short films, maybe a couple of them actually, and I was like, oh, I can't wait for him to make a feature. It's going to be great. And
then
he did, and it
boom.
was.
That's also how I felt when I saw God, what was it? Who is the director? I'm gonna go fucking crazy on this one too. Krisha, when the Trey, I think it's Trey Edward Schultz. He directed Waves, and he also directed It Comes at Night.
Oh, okay. I loved It Comes at Night.
When I saw
good.
Krisha, I was like, ooh, it's gonna be a fucking. This dude's got it.
Ooh.
This dude's fucking got it. And then It Comes at Night was great. Terribly advertised. Not at all what people thought it was gonna be. And then Waves is like, I mean, second favorite movie of 2019. Amazing.
My favorite one. I put
Yeah.
that one number 1.
Yeah, because it's so fucking good. So that's one
Yeah,
I also
heck yeah.
called way before everybody else, and I was like, yeah.
Nice.
I
But
just
yeah.
love how you went and saw that in a little theater all by yourself. That's so
Aw.
cute.
I know, and I was crying by myself.
Oh, you're the cutest.
Yeah, so it's so good. But major spoilers, don't look up anything about it before you see it. All
Yeah.
the ad stuff will give you everything. Everything is right there on the back of the case. Don't even read the fucking case. Don't look up anything.
We need to talk about Waves soon. Can we do that
We
with
gotta
my
watch
favorite?
Waves.
Yeah.
Can we do that with my favorite pick? Waves and
Is that what you want to do?
Well, you're picking one, right?
no,
So-
like
so-
can we do that with my favorite pick?
Oh,
Like,
you
with
mean
my
instead
pick?
of? Well, I mean, we got that movie on the
Oh
back
yeah,
burner.
yeah. We do have a movie on the back burner. Okay, we'll do that next week with like the favorite
Yeah.
attached.
yeah, we'll do Waves soon. So
Cool.
what we're gonna do is, because now we can like kind of watch whatever, because the award season is over. We're each gonna pick a movie every week, and then we'll do something else as well. And so next week we're gonna do Birds of Prey.
And the Fabulous Emancipation one, Harley Quinn,
Harley Quinn.
or otherwise known now as official title change, Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that weird?
It had to do it for those foreign markets, man. People in China were like, "What the fuck is the Birds of Prey?"
Yeah, but Birds of Prey or the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, which I think is a great title.
Or
I
Harley
think so,
Quinn colon
too.
Birds of Prey.
And then we did an intense game of rock paper scissors.
We'll probably post on the YouTube channel and on Twitter and all that good stuff.
Yes.
Did you say I
I
guess?
said heck yeah.
Oh, they said I
I
guess.
said yes. So you probably like combined it, hearing us into one.
So Franny won rock paper scissors.
Woo! I
What
can
you did?
announce my pick. I'm gonna announce my pick. It's Twilight.
So we are gonna watch Birds of Prey, or The Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn,
Or Harley Quinn calling Birds of Prey.
and Twilight.
Whoop, whoop.
With no alternate titles,
Or
it's just Twilight.
Twilight Saga Twilight.
The Twilight Saga.
The
Twilight.
whole saga.
No, we were not watching the whole saga. We were watching one Twilight.
The whole
The
saga.
2009 groundbreaking film for our boy Robert Pattinson boy.
Yes, yes, yes.
And for our
yes.
girl Dingle.
I don't want to talk about it before we actually talk about it next week.
I'm not
I'm
really.
just
This is
saying
really me
he's in
talking.
it. That's common knowledge.
I mean-
No, I was just gonna say I actually quite like the Twilight movies.
Heck yeah, I'm excited.
And
Don't
so, like,
say too
I
much
just want to
though.
know I'm on that like I'm on Franny's
Mermaid
team.
pussy.
Mermaid pussy indeed.
I'm upset.
Is that it?
Are you gonna play mermaid pussy every time you're upset now?
I might.
But yeah, I look forward to being on Franny's team for once.
Whoop whoop.
For once.
Whoop,
I know we always disagree.
I like it. I feel like it brings us closer.
It does
Broken clocks right twice a day.
and whatnot. All right. Well, see you next time.
Make sure to
See ya.
like, comment, subscribe, share.
Send me an email.
Patreon.
Smash that motherfucking like button, boy.
If you send us money on Patreon, we will cry.
I will cry and film it. I'll
Yes.
film myself crying.
Absolutely.
Same. We will all cry together for you.
All right, y'all. We'll be seeing you.
Thank you.
Been real.
Bye.
We love you.